This is a good song to listen to as you eat mangoes. How expensive are they in your country? The mangoes? Surprisingly not super bad. Like, they're not cheap, for sure. I can think of a million ways to get them cheaper. The biggest one is by me going back to my like blood country, my like ethnic country. But yeah, but they're pretty cheap. They're like okay price. They're roughly equivalent to like maybe a couple apples, like 1 or 2 or 3 apples in terms of price, which is pretty decent. And some of them can be pretty tasty, though. I think the variant that I'm eating is like the hard mango, like the one that's still kind of young and fresh and has a bit of like has a bit of like a bite to it. I think the really tasty mango that's like super whatchamacallit, nice and juicy and like soft. That one can be hit or miss depending on the season, so it's not really worth it to buy right now, for instance. But for the most part, it's pretty good. That's pretty decent considering mangoes are mostly tropical fruit. Yeah, I put it all down to global trade economics that I don't understand enough of. But you know what I do understand? How to find someone's cousin. It's just, yeah, I know how to find someone's cousin. I don't know. Playing this game and just thinking about this stuff, right? There's a lot of things that we don't really know. Because the price of mangoes, can you really understand all the factors that go into it? Still finding the cousin? Well, I'm finding a lot of people at this point. Okay, look, last time we played this, I think we definitively decided on the fact that he is the five sexes. But also, okay, so I had some revelations. It all came from a shower. Swear to God, I didn't look things up. I do not cheat in the games. I tell you when I cheat because I like to be an honest cheater, right? It's like, if I'm going to cheat and make a bad mistake, I'm going to tell you so that you can either tell me no and then, you know, peer pressure me. Or you can say, it's okay, I commiserate with you. I would do the same thing. And therefore, I have a moral out, right? If I don't have a moral out, I can't do it. And so therefore, I tell you that I cheat. But this time, this was a revelation, okay? So last time we played this game, we basically got nothing except for a bit more information on these people and 5 Ps, okay? Because I remember that 5 Ps existed and I read into his history. Then, this is the major part, okay? I recognize that this guy's probably going to be the 5 sexes, but also that his relationship with these people is probably more exploitative than necessarily, let's say, cooperative, right? Sex is a cooperative act. So let's assume that you have sex. It's a fairly cooperative act for the most part, for the majority of you, I imagine. I imagine it's like a really fun co-op game that feels nice and there's like a good payoff at the end, okay? For him, it's a triumph. It's a celebration, quote unquote. But more importantly, his celebration is primarily about this idea of celebrating his wins, right? And in doing so, right, he propositions people for it after every single one as part of a tradition, as part of a celebration of it, using that sort of like mindset. But also, the people that he propositions are his business partners. And his business partners, in a way, have a vested interest to try and get the deal, right? I was thinking about this more and more within the shower. And I know it's weird to think about people as you're naked inside the shower, but I think it's important too. The shower is the one time that your mind can focus and flow freely on thoughts, because the rest of your time, you have something else that you can do. But in the shower, all you can do is wipe your asshole and think about what's going on, okay? So as I'm wiping my asshole clean with a nice bit of soap and a good little squeegee, like the squeegee thing, I forget what name it is, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, how large are these companies compared to the Roottrees company? And I realized that even by this point, America was a bit of a economic powerhouse, right? The GDP by this point, even by the end of World War II, was like massive. So considering that this is like the 70s, the US is basically the premier superpower of the world, and it's like the Cold War with like Russia, like, but one is isolationist, Russia, well, kind of, but they're like exerting, I'm not gonna get too into it. But the key is that America at this time was still within its sort of expansionist phase, and was also implementing its sort of soft power approach to globalization and thus spreading capitalism, as well as, in specifically, their market, the American market across the world. So theoretically, the money, there's a lot of money. Theoretically, the US has a lot of money, and so therefore the Roottrees have a lot of money. Hello, Nagi. You like me saying your name? So the reason why I'm saying Nag's name is because we're streaming later to play some fuck nut. Basically, we're gonna play some Fortnite later. I need coffee. Anyway, so America by this point has all this money, right? Like a ton of money. Have you updated my game? Yes, all 100 gigabytes of it. I can't believe Fortnite is 100 gigabytes. Like it's actually absurd. Okay, look, I'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, we're talking about economics here. We're talking about global economics in relation to figure out the motivations of these characters. Okay, this guy. Okay, to understand him, you need to understand American history. All right. And like finance. Okay, so if you go back to the beginning, it's not German. No, he's not German. German wouldn't do this. German is not this bad. Okay. So let's presume that America has some of the best economics of any country in the world at this point, and has so much of it that they can exert it outwards and they can do everything with it. Germa Jr. Okay, I'm gonna give you some context. I think this guy sexually assaulted people. Do you still call him Germa? Do you still call him Germa, even though he sexually assaulted people? No, they also have the biggest debt. Yes, but the debt in a way almost doesn't matter, except for maybe locally, and insofar as they can still project their hard and their soft power. Like, who is gonna make them pay that debt? Oh, look, okay, we're getting into a slight tangent, but it doesn't matter if you have the highest debt, because who is going to make you pay your own debt? And so debt only really affects yourself, right? Somebody could make you pay your debt if they're stronger than you, but as far as we know, the US could nuke anybody. So no one can make them pay. No one can make them pay their debt. The citizens simply suffer with more inflation, right? Anyways, what I'm getting at, the US has a lot of money, all right? So therefore, the Roottrees have a lot of money, right? China at this time, I think, was roughly about a couple decades past the Cultural Revolution. I can't remember when exactly, if it was like the 1940s, 50s, 60s, but around this time, I think it was Deng. He went in and he opened up China sort of like a system with a sort of like focused socialist style capitalism mix, right? It was like the economic reform period, and he shook his hand with, I think was it Nixon? I don't know. Anyways, so by this point, China, which is one of the Roottrees companies, right, is just starting to get into the global stage of actually making money. They're a very poor place by this point, because during that time, during the like Mao era, like things were, let's just say funds weren't necessarily easy to find. Like things were pretty low, right? Australia, just Australia. I don't know. I don't know why Australia would like get in on this. I don't really know. Somebody in America, his secretary, is his secretary, but we know that her and her husband needed money for their own business, and so presuming that his secretary is Christine Garland, and that's her, and based on the full picture and the fact that she's sitting at the desk, and based on the fact that she needed money, there's a very good chance that she felt coerced into having sex with him for that money. And we know this because she said she wasn't really into swapping husbands, right? Because this is the thing that I had initially, was I wasn't sure whether or not this was consensual, like polyamorous or polyculistic. But I'm starting to realize some of these are maybe okay, like the Australian one, where I think Robin Martin was leaning into the sort of idea of like that like sexual relationship, but everyone else not really, probably. Roottrees China could be one of these, but the problem is that I don't really know how Roottrees China works, because on the one hand, the news article says that Lang Xinyu, she was into she was one of the first supporters of artificial insemination, but the problem is that he hasn't really artificially inseminated her. He's like officially inseminated her. So you know, and then who else? His his secretary. And then he also has another secretary who was his mistress, who he probably did the same thing with. Oh, and then Sonia Suarez, her husband was on the run from the military because Brazil had just gone through a military coup. So, at least 3 of these have some hint of a power imbalance that he exerted over these people, and thus, in many ways, took advantage of their situation. 2 of them might be, well, one of them might be okay because Australia is like Australia, and the earliest secretary we don't know yet. But at least for like China, for his U.S., I don't know why it's the U.S. side, as well as within Brazil, I'm assuming these 3 are guaranteed to be less than favorable conditions. So We'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty sure this is how it's gonna go. I'm pretty sure this is the system, really. I think I've got it nailed. But then I had another revelation. This is a huge leap of faith. Trust me on this. Where is it? Here we go. They make fun of my grandpa and his family saying. So this is a note from Lauren Roottrees. I keep thinking of her name as Lauren Southern. Why do I keep thinking Lauren Southern? Is that not a porn star? Why do I keep thinking Lauren Southern? Why does that name keep popping up in my head? Who is Lauren Southern? Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern. Oh no, it's not a porn star, it's an alt-right YouTuber. Why does that name keep popping up in my head? You know what it is? Sorry, it's just the name, it really does roll off the tongue, and I think it's stuck as like a little like verbal or like a mind tick of mine to say that name. Anyways, Lauren Roottree, specifically, this diary of hers that she wrote had an extra page in it where she talks a lot about, you know, the family dynamics, right? And we know that her family's messed up, right? They hated gay people. That's why they condemned EC to basically a life of nothingness and took him out of the family, right? And even went so far as taking him out of the family funds. And now he's dead, presumably, because Sam is very old and he's dead because he must have been much older having raised Sam. But Lauren in this one talks about a bit more about the things that came out during that time, I think, or really about like the I guess like the other darker, well, the other also sort of like shady sides of their family, how they present this image of being like a clean family, how they present this image of a family who, like, you know, totally loves everyone, but like won't let their kids date like black people too. And then it's like, oh yeah, like everyone's really a good family figure, but they cheat on their family, right? She also talks about this specific note about the way that they make fun of their how the rest of the family, her generation also sort of like bites back at the old people in like a weird way, and you know how she sees that as, it feels like it has a sense of like she feels as if it's disrespectful, but it's specifically the way that she says this. Blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing is thicker than Elias. They're making fun of Elias saying. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, please remember them. Please remember them. What is this? Elias, please remember Sam, right? Sam. But there was also one other thing in this game. Is this the game's music? It is, yeah. It's a really, well, it's all like public domain stuff, but still, it's good. Like it's nice songs. Or maybe it's not public domain. I don't know. Why is this passage important? It's making you eepy? Okay, well, you have to stay awake for another 2.5 hours. We are gonna play together soon. So why is that name important? I need to find it here, I think. Here we go. Yeah, this one. There is also a section where Sam Madsen, Miku, I really hope to see your Miku again. It was kind of funny. Speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Okay, so you get down to the bottom. Okay, she mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie. So I think this one is Ernest Jr. So Sam Madsen was once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth from the supervisor than the supervisor from the farm, but she never met her, okay? Beth of these nuts. So you think that's a pretty good line of being like, okay, like maybe Elias has cheated on her with the secretary because Beth is Elizabeth, right? But we know that Granny has a bit of a lisp. She's got a bit of a lisp in her speaking. Elias, please remember them. So, what happens when you apply the same system of the lisp over to the name Beth, right? The TH becomes an S, like please and pleath. So, who's Bess? And then I was like, okay, like, meanwhile, I've just finished cleaning my left cheek in the shower. I've gone to my right cheek, all right? And I'm thinking, okay, Bess, what have I heard that day? And it hit me like a million rocks, like a million bricks. Shit, what's her book name? wait, sorry. It was meant to be much more dramatic. Sorry. Okay, let's just. Bess Williams, Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy. Bess Williams. Because in my head, I was like, who is Bess? But we've seen this name come up a couple times. But that's the misdirection. Everyone in the family thinks it's Elizabeth, but no one ever thinks to account for Grandma's lisp. And so when you think about it, if you're writing a documentary on somebody, who do you have the most contact and access to the entire time? Bess Williams. And specifically, what is the book? The dictionary defines propaganda as information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. If they were to replace that definition with a picture, it'd be a picture of this book. So this picture is incredibly nice to him. It really paints a very nice picture of Mr. Roottrees himself, of the patriarch. Right? Bess Williams. Beth, sleeping with him and then getting this, and presumably this is his way of sort of like coercing things. And it makes sense why we have this and why we have his photo then. He cheated on Grandma Gwyneth with Bess. You see my point? Yes? Yes? You see my point? Yes? I slammed my... Okay, sorry, I just need to play this. It's a mind worm. I'm gonna play this and you just have to listen to it, okay? Like, it's just a mind worm now. You have to listen to it. I'm eating a mango. We just had to talk about... Okay, so... We started the stream by a chatter asking about the price of mangoes. I connected it. You will never get a stream like this anywhere else. The stream started, chatter asking about the price of mangoes in my area. I connect the price and the idea of finance back to the game. I talk about American history, and we go straight into how it connects into these characters. The financial system, going straight into how this connects to Guy Hudson's sexual escapades. You can't get any better than it. I slammed my penis in the car door.
I slammed my penis in the car door.
You slammed your penis in the car door.
Sorry, I just want to play that really quick. So let's say Eliath slammed his penis in the car door here, and has ended up with somebody who he shouldn't have. So I'm assuming, bada bing, Elias Roottrees, and then CEO, and then Bess Williams. We don't have a photo for her. Uh-oh. What does Bess Williams look like? Bess Williams, author. Problem is, we don't know what Bess Williams looks like, so I don't know what to do. Okay, so we have two different sides. One, I need to continue looking at 5Ps, which is the one known child. I think I linked him back to being his mother being the first secretary of Guy Hudson, okay? So it's not the hidden child of Christine Garland. I think this is 5Ps, which his name right now is Felix Fellows. Well, that's his name now, but I wonder if it needs his original name. I'm not sure. Seinfeld? Wait a minute. Jerry Seinfeld. That's amazing. Wait, I actually got like a little Easter egg. It just played like a little tune. That's so good. Anyway, so we'll leave Jerry Seinfeld here for now, just in case, because I'm pretty sure this is Felix Fellows, right? Assuming. So right now he's an artist. Well, musician? I don't know. I guess artist is for art, but like you say people are like music artists too. Every time I change Jerry Seinfeld, it just gets better. Actor. It just it's just here forever. We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it. That's a great Easter egg. Okay, so presumably 5Ps is the child of the first secretary, and so when she was born, but she died in the 1970s, so I don't really know about this one, okay? But I really want to figure out the Elias side now. So assuming that I'm correct that Elias did sleep with Bess Williams, maybe we can find information about her. I know this is a whole tangent from last time, but... Oh, also, I didn't read one of these. So, thank you, YouTube chatter, YouTube commenter. You saved me. I didn't read one of these pieces of evidence. I simply forgot to. I think I wrote this. I did not write this. I did not read this. I did not read the plated loaf. Right? I read this. Right? I read this. 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 Okay, this was the only one that I didn't read. The YouTube commenter told me that I didn't read. So, 3 things that we need to do before 2 hours passes. Okay? Find out who's Bess Williams. Read the plated loaf. Figure out Guy Hudson's order of events, and specifically whether or not it was coercion. I'm pretty sure his is sexual coercion, which is like power imbalance, which is basically like it's really bad. So let's just see this. Bess Williams was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a major hurricane. Sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. Sorry. That's tragic. That's actually like awful. I knew someone who died in a hurricane, and I saw them flying in the air like that. I shouldn't be laughing at this. It's just, man, your life is a series of misfortunes, eh? Born in the late 1800s, died in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. So 1926, Miami. Hurricane, 1926. Okay, well, this is Bess Williams. This is very important, okay? She is a major piece of this. And we actually move everything over into Elias's own cheating place. So if I look at Elias, page 7 has Anonymom. What? Why is this at page 7? I guess this is like the scratch. I don't really know. Wait, no, this is for 5Ps. Okay, so this is for 5Ps. This should be for Elias. Roottree. I like to, to really seal the deal there. We can reorder these. Then to Elias. There we go. I'm done. Okay, so we know born 1800s, flew away in 1926 hurricane in Miami. Game theory. Grandma Gwyneth has a lisp, and so when they were arguing about some woman and they talked about Beth, she really meant Bess. That's my theory, and I need to, okay, just so I can organize all this, because we didn't do this last time. They got really lost in the sauce. Got really lost in the sauce here. Who's Beth? Who is Beth? Who's Beth? Okay, there we go. And she's got that little lisp of hers. Honestly, a grandma with a lisp was kind of cute. Like, it's like, aw, granny, you have a like you have a little lisp. It's like, aw. But that's patronizing. Sorry. These are people who have lived their entire lives. They've like gone to 60. They've pooped countless times. And near endless amount. Where does it all come from? And here I am just saying, oh wait, I also need the green screen. Sorry, just give me a second. Where's my titties picture? It's very important. We need a new virus. I can't just keep doing titties. I have a good virus. Oh, I've got a really good virus. That's a great virus. Okay, just there we go. Perfect. That's a great virus. Okay. That's a good virus. There we go. Just get that nice little stomach and that thigh over there. There we go. That's good. Okay. Now we can go over here. Put this over here. Over here. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. That's some good stuff. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Good. Bess has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Roottree. Nice, thank you. It had been all but forgotten until recently, when it was re-released during the height of Roottreemania. Also, if you wanted the source of that image, it comes from, whatchamacallit, Amori. No joke. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics. That also mentions Wes Williams. That's messed up, dude. Oh, that's actually messed up. Storm Watchers have no chill. What is this? The Storm Watchers have no chill. Dude, I never want to die in a hurricane because you're gonna show up in a hurricane that's because how often do hurricanes happen? And it's like once a year, and they each have names, and you might be the only person who like died in it. I don't want people to know my legacy like that. I'm gonna die the normal way, like just fall into a grave or something, or like a heart attack. The Bocadoro Library, not far from where she lived, was partially destroyed in the hurricane. When they rebuilt, they named the non-fiction section after her. What? They named the non-fiction section. They named the non-fiction section after an author whose only good book was a propaganda biography. This town has nothing. Like this, they must be on the bottom tier of the education statistics of like the rankings. The library was expanded again in 1950 and then closed in 1963. The multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area that made it redundant. Okay, well we have some things. Okay, so she's has a section in the Bocadoro Library, and presumably we can get her photo from the Bocadoro Library. The Bocadoro Library no longer exists. Oh, what a shame. Well, sorry, folks. Sorry, Clark. Case closed. I can't find anything about your great-grandfather. It's over. It's closed. Closed. I had no coffee today. You find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the libraries system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Miami Print Museum, you come across their website. It states there hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small. Admission is free, and they only have room for a few different displays. When is... Oh, sorry, I was thinking to myself, when does a library charge for entry? Because it seems antithetical to what a library is. But the museum, it makes sense, because there's a lot of things in there. But the print museum probably struggles to get people to even know that it exists, so maybe they make it free for obvious reasons. One of the exhibits is a courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. The picture has been added to your evidence. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans, an art book. So, the Miami Sunday has no records you can find online or in your periodical search. It merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded only after a year. What? The Miami Mercury Sunday was a newspaper that lasted only a year, from 1949 to 1950. You find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions that the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller, failing newspapers. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper. Oh, so good! What a great punchline. Two failing companies merge, and the result fails. Which is only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way that they did, it was tied to the longest title for an American newspaper at the time, with a newspaper in Jefferson, Texas. Jefferson, Texas is a real place with a real newspaper called the Jefferson Jimplecute. As far as you can tell, nobody you've been investigating lives in Texas. What is a Jimplecute? Is that real? This game has to be real. Okay, so this is the last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans, an art book. We just check this out. Cuba by Cubans is a book of paintings released in 1963. It's credited to Marcia Barbin. At first glance, it doesn't seem related to your search in any way. Well, I kind of want to see it though. Marcia Barbin. Cuba by Cubans. Cuba by Cubans is a book released in and credited to Marcia Barbin. I'm pretty sure that's a red herring, but I just want to... Okay, let's just write all this down. Okay, let's write all this down. Do I get rid of the map patch? Okay, no, I keep the map pad page. Which ones have I done? Roottrees French connecting to Ron. He's there. I might be... Okay, so this is done. Clancet spread trust. That's why Ron... But now we know Ron isn't the thing. Clancet trust ruling wrinkles. Game theory, whereas Ron was born after Gwyn had left... With part of the trust, would he have needed money? Chris Rafferty has a spot that allows him to refer his why because of mistaken case. Chris wasn't part of it. How did he have access to the proof that Ernie Jr. died of a heart attack? Okay, let's just do this. That's done. Could his have been multiple? No, it's not Wickham Mullers. Presumably, cheating trees are the same way. Two people for a guy has a time with cheating. One couple after the child. Not be the guy the child is. Okay, so that's all done. Possible red herrings. Red goldfish. It's gonna make sense if you've ever had a goldfish in your life. Marcia Barbin. Cuba. Is it by or for Cubans? I don't know. Both seem accurate. Okay, Cuba by Cubans and Cuba for Cubans. They both seem accurate. There we go. So Mark, Cuba by Cubans. Okay. Why am I here? Right, so we now have a photo of what's her face. We now have a photo searching for the Miami Print Museum. Oh. We now have a photo of specifically Bess Williams. Okay? I need to go do I write anything else? Source of Bess Williams statue photo. Yeah. Because I'm assuming this is for the statue that we found. Sorry, he looks like a statue, but he's dead. There she is. Bess Williams. That's a very nice 3D render. Wow. That's a very, very nice 3D render. You can't really tell that it's a fake photo, except for the fact that the lighting on the bench is a little weird. But otherwise, it looks like a good... and also the fact that the grass is so flat, you could mistake it for like a cutting board, but that is a ridiculously flat grass. There's at least have a little like noise to it, so it has a little texture bumping to it. I don't know. This is a statue in front of the Miami Print Museum, formerly the Bocador Library north of Miami. It sits in the courtyard, and according to the site, it is to be said of an unknown author. No, we know who it is, and I guarantee you, we're about to get a win here. I'm a genius! I'm a genius! Holy cannoli, I'm a genius. Woo-wee! That's what I'm talking about! Woo! Ha! Ha ha! That's right, baby. I don't need no 5Ps. I don't need no early game hint. I don't need no 5Ps. I know the solutions. What just happened? Narcissism. Well, the game wants you to go down this route of 5Ps and then go from there, I think, okay? I accidentally went down the Guy Hudson route, and then I accidentally figured out the Bess Williams route because of the lisp. It's all about the lisp. I'm so good. I'm so good at what I do. Oh, I'm so good at what I do. It'd be worse if I never figured out the lisp, because as a person who stutters, it's like I intimately understand how that can warp your messaging, right? Because when you stutter, let's say you're trying to say a word, right? And let's say you're trying to talk about the people from Japan, and you stutter on the first syllable. That's kind of bad, okay? It warps the messaging of your entire sentence. People will no longer listen to what you were trying to say, because what you just started saying was pretty bad. So they will stop listening to you. But you might just be saying, I love Japanese snacks. And they have really good snacks. I like Pocky. But you can't say that anymore, and then no one will hear the rest of it because you said the first part and now it's gone, okay? So I know intimately how the way that you speak and like the speech impediments can affect the way that messages come across. And so therefore, that's how you get from Beth to Bess. I still can't believe, again, I figured this out while I was cleaning my both my right and my left ass cheeks in the shower.
Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson about the last few months of my life.
No hello? No hello? No how are you doing? No how's it been? It's been a while? No, like... Okay, listen, Sam, I know that we're both, like, familiar with each other, right? But I have feelings. I at least say hello to me, at least say good job, you've been doing kind of good, or at least yell at me, right? Don't just open my door and then say, "Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson."
3 different people contacted me, claiming that somewhere in their history, they might be Roottrees.
This was Aloysius. This was Aloysius, Anonymom, and the 5Ps.
First, that young man, the rapper. I ignored that one. He seemed dubious. But then I saw the news.
Which means, by the way, this is a great hint, and I love that she says this. It shows in many ways that she's just as biased as the family that she harps on about, right? It's the idea of like, let he who have no sins cast the first stone or something. But applied to her, she's just as biased as they are. She just doesn't really realize it, right? This is a game where there are no good people. It's all just flawed people with more flawed than others and way more evil. But in general, everybody's got something wrong with them.
I felt terrible. So I began helping the others.
And if that never happened, if 5Ps never got the information, okay, she would have ignored the other 2.
Because my doubts with Felix were so misfounded, I ended up putting too much faith in the second person that approached me.
And now we see why the Dunning-Kruger effect is actually good. Okay, so Dunning-Kruger has multiple humps and like pits and valleys, okay? You start out on the first hump. Well, you start on the first pit where you don't really know much and you don't really have confidence in yourself. She was at the second pit where she's like, okay, I know everything and I know what to do. And I know who is like, who is a Roottrie. I can tell from a glance. She was wrong, okay? He goes down into the first pit, but it's not as low as like as the first pit. She goes down into the second pit, which wasn't as low as the first pit, and she's like, okay, I'm not really feeling too confident in myself, so the second person I'm sure is going to be great, right?
I went to the media prematurely. I admit my mistake there.
Then she gets to the third rise. I mean, the second hump, okay? The second bump is your prime time. I want to say second bump is your prime time, because every other bump feels a little bit less nice, because you just feel like you know less and less, and your brain starts to like fail because of old age and like a whole bunch of things, okay? But she's now at the second bump where she realizes her mistakes, but she still has a little bit of hubris in it, so she still has a little bit of fire in her to come to my front door, open the door, and give me a lecture. I'm working here.
But the third person who contacted me also had a credible case. Before I could help, the company got to them somehow.
The company?
The fact that the family silenced them doesn't seem to fill me with hope when it comes to Clark's intentions.
What? Silence who? What? What do you mean silence? Uh-oh. Chat, I think we skipped ahead. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, Sam. Couple steps back, okay? Did you know your grandfather cheated? This might be Sam's first time hearing that her grandfather cheated. And she's like, I thought you were looking into 5Ps, like the game told you to. And that you would find out about the 3 families who contacted me. Like, no, Sam, you don't understand. All I know is James and Ronald, Bess Williams, and Guy Hudson.
But you're making progress based on the leads he gave you. It's really hard for me to get a read on him. I'll let you handle it.
Oh, you'll let me handle it, like I haven't been doing it this whole time. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate you not bothering me and not holding me back from doing my job. Especially of all things, interrupting the mind space I have to get into. I'm in a flow state, okay? Imagine that I'm the detective right now. I just took a shower, was just wiping both of my ass cheeks, alright? I have enough money from the Roottrees stock to live my days out like a king. And I do this because it's fun. And I think to myself, why is the list... why was Grandma's list important? And it hits me like a bag of bricks, and I'm in the middle, and I just have this revelation. And she knocks on the door and says, have you met Clark? It's gone. The idea is gone. The spark is gone. I have to go back through the washroom, take another shower to remember, only to be in this loop of remember, forget, remember, forget.
I've sent you the case I've been working on, and some company records I managed to track down.
Who are these people? I've never met them in my life.
The records are quite dense, but hopefully they're useful. Good luck.
It's what day is it? It's August 3rd. 1999. I could have made out like a bandit. I've got billions in Roottrees stock, and yet here I am, sitting in my lone, cold, lonely apartment with, holy shit, I have a beanbag chair in 1999. I'm kind of cool. With my cute little... Is that a dog toy? Look at the thing. It looks so cute. Look at that little dog. It looks stupid. Look at him. Here I am with my dog and my posters, and I've got nothing to my name. Still working my ass off for rich oligarchs who don't give a damn about me. I hope someday an Italian plumber hears my plights and changes the world for the better. I also have a TV at this point. Okay, thanks, Sam. Thank you for giving me more. But give me more hints. We can't. Okay, listen. I have a system. I need a to-do list. Red goldfish. To-do list. This is to aid my discursion. Okay, this is gonna help. Okay, so first off, we'll do it like this. We'll do like a obsidian style, okay? And then when I'm done, I put an X inside. All right. So while it's empty, we do just like this, and I go. What was I gonna do? Oh right. Guy Hudson's first secretary may be connected to 5P's mother. The plated thing. The new evidence from Sam Madsen. Okay. Let's just keep that as a running log. Okay. Who is? I've never seen. What is a Mary Beth Clementine? Was this in the original? So notable events: the Roottrees Rift. This all happens. The 5Ps comes in and starts to claim it. Anana Mom in July. I don't know. Well, Miracle was the one who got the 5P's DNA test to happen by accident. Anonymom was the person afterwards. So actually, we've never even stumbled upon the third family yet. And what's actually interesting is that in this note, by the way, that came from Clark, he doesn't even mention the third case. Sam Madsen has to knock on our door and says there's a third case. And she's like, I'm sure he told you everything. And it's like, we don't know anything. Because Clark only told us about what he wanted us to know. Clark didn't tell us about the third family. Which, we know that Clark is a serial cheater from the first game by the way that he... no joke. One sister to another sister, okay? This guy is a serial cheater. I wouldn't be surprised if the third family ends up being Danielle Franks. Or is specifically Jane LaRue. Because, oh shit, I forgot to check up on Chris. I forgot. Wait, Chris is a factor in this. Because Chris is also this. Figure out where Chris lies. Good chance the third family is the hidden family from Clark's escapades. Who he's hiding. Why does Chris get another photo? I don't know. Did I even search his email once? Chris Apogee? Apogee.us? Chris Rafferty. How do I find his name? Oh, the Roottree Curse. I think we did read this. Yeah, 7 digits. We read this. Another one's about rapper 5Ps. One of the first album songs actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Rainer, which was his cousin. That's true. He did want to have sex with his cousin. Sam Madsen's anagram for Am Madness. He's with Lauren Roottrees' book is a one-time band. He's the cipher. Request next year is a leap year over with. Oh yeah, Operation RT29. What is this? What is Spirit Cola? What is RT29? I'm stupid. Spirit Cola is a carbonated drink only found in the southern U.S. It comes in various flavors, including lemon, lime, and cherry. Okay, this is probably not related. Where was the thing where somebody... Clark? Where is Chris? Where was Chris's email? Here we go. We need to figure out what happened to Chris. Chris is a very important piece of this whole puzzle, I think. Ah! Chris Rafferty's prodigy site seems to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pictures of his cousins. Instead, it's a list of questions that people kept emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we got little Chris over here. Oh, Chris Rafferty. This is probably important. Prodigy sites. The eternal summer has dawned on his website. This is a very deep, old internet reference. That's how you know I'm old. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mum when I was very young, which is Jane LaRue, who he cheated on. Who he cheated. Do you say you cheated on somebody when you were with them and you cheated on? Yes. So it's who he cheated on. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. For the love of God, where are your capitals? We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. Whoa, what the? Clark moved away with his mother, Jane. Clark cut them a check when he was 15. Reconnected with Clark from number on check as stepdad Pete. My dad and I, he was happy to hear from me, and now he calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me about things I don't remember, and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we aren't very close. Now it's interesting, because this character is interesting, because I actually know very well about the mindset of a person like this, because I'm raising one of them. The mindset of somebody who's been abandoned and yet yearns for that sort of like parental figure, in a way, so it's fascinating to sort of see them handle the world, because it's so mature and yet so sad and so sort of like childish in that way too, of like, you no longer need your parent but you still want it, you know what I mean? Like it's a very fascinating sort of lens, and so it's sort of read this, it pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory is weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. Yep, probably some response to trauma. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5 in the office with my dad, and Guy was there. What? He had a photo from when he was 5 in the office with his dad, and Guy was there? Had a photo of him in the office with Clark and Guy. This is important, because that means it's been added to my evidence. Okay, good. I made myself sick by eating chocolate, and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that come from the picture or not. In the above photo, some unknown woman cleaned his face. We found another. How did you have proof of Ernie Madsen's heart condition? I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me on one of my phone calls. Okay, so that solves that thing. I was wondering, how did he know about the heart condition when he was no longer a part of the family? I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottrees Curse website, and he emailed some old stuff including the proof, but even with the proof, the website didn't take it down. You spelled fiance wrong. I'm not good at spelling or writing. I'm good at painting and other arts. Okay, you know what? I feel bad. I'm sorry for yelling at you for not capitalizing things. Sorry. I was being mean. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. What's her name again? Her name was Lulu something. Luisa Garcia. So he's actually, again, he's a normal kid. He just was kind of abandoned by his father. His family's all fucked up, man. Oh man. He was abandoned by his father. His mother, rightfully so, wanted to leave to start a new life somewhere fresh, somewhere clean. I've thought about that many times, but there's not many places to go in Canada. Let's think about this. Okay, well, we have a follow. Chris Rafferty in the office. Bang, bang, bang. The tattoo! It's like the girl with the dragon tattoo, but this time it's a flower. Oh, shit. Guy Hudson. Clark? Damn, Clark. Looking good, dude. Yo, got a nice stash going. Well, you got a point stash going on, but... You know what's crazy? The only reason it's seen as a porn stash is because most people back then probably didn't watch videos except for porn. Like, most people's most watched video was either television, movies, or porn. You like, there wasn't such a thing as vlogs. And so in movies and like television and shows, right, people have to fit a certain look for the character design. And I think back then the trend was to have no facial hair. So porn was one of the few ways that you saw quote-unquote amateur life at work. It was very dressed up for like, you know, having sex and stuff like that, but that's probably why the porn stash became such a mimetic thing, is because you don't have like mustaches on TV because it doesn't fit every character, but in real life you just grow a mustache because it's easier than shaving it every day. And so what do you do in porn? Well, you have sex every day. Well, some of us do. Sorry. Some of you are going through either a very long, dry drought, or some of you have never gotten it. It's okay. It's fine. Just know that I look down on you. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, that's probably why it's... Anyways, who are these people? This photo was on Chris Rafferty's website. According to Chris, it's a photo of him, his father, and Guy Hudson. While they were distracted, he snuck into the supply of chocolate they kept for visitors and tourists. Chris Rafferty did not know who the woman in the photo was. Okay, so this is a problem. I think she's the secretary. But this sort of undermines everything that I knew. So, she's here, okay? Girl with the dragon tattoo, girl with the flower tattoo. Where else is she? Here, at the holiday party with Guy Hudson. Same tattoo, alright? Same woman. But, look at the timeline, okay? So, this is an interview with Cecily... Magazine interview... Cecily Sanchez. This is around the Christmas party when Roottrees Brazil was opening up. Presumably, wait, no, but if that was true, I would have gotten at least one of these, no? Well, I didn't put the photos. But presumably, this is the Roottrees Brazil people, Sonia Suarez as well as Eduardo Suarez, right? Presumably, that's who they are. I'm wrong. Or if I was right, this would have popped. So who are these people? There's a Christmas party. So it's after New Year. Sorry, there's a lot of information in my head that's slowly forming. The person... I thought this was Christine, but I don't think this is Christine anymore. We need to do some things. Let me think about this. We know he has two secretaries. Christine Garland for sure, as well as Jerry Seinfeld. As well as Jerry Seinfeld, okay? We know that he has two secretaries. Some other Christine and then a Christine Garland, okay? We know, based on the timeline, that 5P's mother is probably the first Christine, and 5P's real name was probably, if I had remembered to write it down, was David Fellows, okay? Which means presumably his mother's name is Christine Fellows. And she was actually the first secretary of Guy Hudson. That's why she's here. She died in the 1970s. His mother died in 1993. I'm a terrible detective. But anyway, she died in 1993, but she was the first secretary, but she was replaced because we know that he had a new secretary, Christine Garland, okay? But based on this timeline, if she died in 1993, and we look at when Roottrees Brazil was open, so if I go to the Roottrees Everywhere initiative, was opened in 1979, presumably, and mind you, opened in 1979 after Was it Christmas? Near the beginning of 1979. So near the beginning of 1979, aka near the beginning of the new year. What does Christmas play into this? Shit. One of these has a Christmas angle. One of these has a Christmas angle. Was it China? I don't think it was China. Was it Australia? It was summer. Oh, no, it was the interview. Sorry, it was an interview with Avoid Pennsylvania. No, this was for that. Clans of Trust. Roottrees Guy Hudson. Here we go. What? Christine Garland, farm supervisor, Guy's secretary, and presumably was nutted in during the swinger party. Why did I read it like that? Had sex with Robin Martin. Okay, well whatever. Biggity! Here we go. He sent his mistress Susie something into the bathroom to proposition me. Okay. Mid-1981, months after I had already moved on, he called me back. At half the discount. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. You know what's crazy? So there was I was reading this. There's actually somebody did use genealogical records to find the murder of someone. So basically, what they found it was this child who was killed when she was like 12 or something, and they didn't know who did it. So, but some student, I'm not kidding you, some genealogy student or something. He was really into this case, so he like dug up a bunch of records, and he was calling detectives every day, and he was like, check this out. Okay, now check this out. Okay, now check this out. And they narrowed it down to the brother of the grandfather, or maybe it was the grandfather. So they tested the brother of the grandfather's DNA, and it was like a 50% match. And so it had to be the brother because he had the other 50% or something. And so, but they narrowed it down even further because they found through genealogical records when he visited, and it was around the time of that child's death. It was whatever he did is what I aspire to do with this. But I get lost in the sauce trying to read things. So, I don't know. Look, she met Guy Hudson on the last night on New Year's Eve of 1978. Okay? What does that mean? What does that mean? He invited me to join them in dealing with Roottrees Brazil. But I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. So, she was with him dealing with Roottrees Brazil, and she had met him at New Year's time. But she joined him during that time. She met him during Christmas. There's a New Year's is basically, I don't know anybody who takes down the Christmas tree. Okay, that's all. I need to understand how many of you take down the Christmas tree as soon as Christmas ends. My entire theory hinges on the core common thread of all people being lazy. It doesn't matter the holiday, could be Lunar New Year, you leave that shit up for like 3 months. Okay? Christmas tree, we just took down Santa. I just took down the Santa statue. He almost died one day when I almost dropped the mattress on him. Alright? So I just took down Santa, and it's February. Presumably, this is the New Year's Eve party where they met and where things are still going on. That's why she was in the background, but she wasn't here close. But this means that this happened first. And it also means that he met, this would imply that at this party he also met the Suarez family. So this is a bit of an interesting detail here. There's a good chance that this is where he met the Suarez family. And I didn't even know this. Look at his eyes. Oh my god. Let me just draw like a clear line. Let me draw a clear line. Look at his eyes. Okay, look. I'm gonna show you a real detective trick. Real detective trick. Here. Look. Okay, do I have MS Paint? Okay, good. Okay, MS Paint, full screen? Oh, perfect, okay. Here. This is a real detective trick, okay? Look. I didn't even notice his eyes, but what a great detail, alright? lines. Take these lines, we draw red lines, okay? If we assume, based on the way that he's looking, okay, your eyes sort of converge on a single target, kind of like this, right? Kind of like this, right? So actually, what he's staring at, if he's not really looking at her face, because if he's looking at her face, his face angle, if you consider like this, and you consider his eyes the way that they are, it looks a bit like the through line is like this, right? Now let's continue this through line all the way through to its logical conclusion. Okay? Why would he be staring at her face? He doesn't really care about her face. But at the same time, she's staring at his face. Alright? So she's staring at his face. Yeah? So she's locking eyes with him. So actually, maybe he is staring at her eyes, and maybe I don't know art. Maybe I don't know. To be fair, I can't draw. So maybe he's staring at her eyes like this. Maybe this is a through line like this. But I was thinking, like, it looks kind of weird, right? So I was thinking, but at the same time, you can't look at someone's eyes both at the same time. So you're really looking at one eye. So maybe he's looking at this eye. Yeah, okay, that actually looks more like it makes sense, based on the fact that your eyes, your view kind of converges down into one. But my theory at first was he's looking straight at her titties. But this doesn't make sense, because he'd be looking way more down. So actually, so they're locking eyes, okay? He's looking at the camera. He doesn't even know that he's getting cocked right now. This is like, he's blind to the cuckoldry. He's completely blind to the cuckoldry. He has no clue what's going on. And she is looking off into the distance at somebody else. Why did I do this? I don't know. Basically, Sonia Suarez, whatever his name is, Eduardo Suarez, Cecily Sanchez, Guy Hudson. We know who Cecily Sanchez is now. Okay. Picture does not label its individual photos. Sure, this is just Guy Hudson. This photo, flower tattoo equals Cecily Sanchez. Couple on the right equal Suarez family. And then, guy equals guy, okay? So, sorry, I had to respond to a message. So you have flower tattoo, Cecily Sanchez, couple on the right, Suarez family, guy equal guy. Oh yeah, the reason why I drew those lines is to really emphasize the fact that he was into her and he wanted her at this point. Like, he knew, he found his mark, and so therefore the business dealings and all of that, right? So now it makes sense how this all happened. So this is when we sort of knew. Is there any other photos with him? He wants to fuck the camera person. Do you see how Guy Hudson is staring right at you? Okay, first off, Zach wants to fuck Guy Hudson. Guy Hudson wants to fuck you. She wants to fuck Guy. Everybody's eyes are telling a different story. But anyways, wrong photo. We'll have to read that later. This is for sure Cecily Sanchez. I don't like where his eyes are looking. That's kind of weird, man. But I do think this is a good hint as to the fact that this is Cecily Sanchez. There's a very good chance that Cecily was one of the partners that he slept with. The problem is that she didn't want to. So I don't know where to place her on this. Like, she doesn't... Unless we assume that not every photo... That presumably not every photo is going to be used. Presumably not every photo matters. That's the thing. Not every photo matters. There's a very good chance that not every photo matters. Because not every photo matters, we can ignore this photo of her. We can get a photo of Clark and Guy Hudson, though. So I pop this in, and I pop this in. Sorry, wrong one. Kinda fucked up, man. It's kind of fucked up that on the board I have him like pre and post baldness. You can't escape it. I'm pretty sure that I'm thinning now, because I'm getting to the point where, my genetics are kicked in. So when I jest about it, in like a sort of like a comrade way, like a comorbid way. You know what I mean? Okay, so this makes sense. But her photo must be a red herring. She must be here to throw you off, to make you believe that this is the secretary. But this is actually Cecily Sanchez. So presumably Cecily Sanchez is the flower tattoo, which means that this is for so this one, she's for sure her secretary. Whether or not this is Christine Garland, I don't really know. We need to find Steve Garland and Christine Garland within the plated loaf, the one article that I didn't read. Right. Determine what Christine Garland looks like. This woman here is presumably Christine, since flower tattoo is almost assuredly Cecily Sanchez. Okay. I feel like we did a lot, but we really did nothing. I don't know. The Plated Loaf. Kitchen Tales is a book that combines recipes and stories. It had mild popularity, but seemed to disappear from online marketplaces in 1992. You found a scan of one story on a website. It demonstrates how to bake the plated loaf. For years, two bakers, Flora and Yates, flirted. Flora and Yates? What? Who is Flora? Who is Yates? Avoid Pennsylvania. Antonellis, Mark Zimmer, Stephen Garland. The book by Mark Zimmer, Steve Garland, James and Robert Garland. Who is Yates? This is probably just a fake story name. For 2 years, two bakers... For 2 years, two bakers, two Flora, and two Yates, two flirted. They grew their friendship, compared two recipes, and combined knowledge. She loved his salt and pepper beard. He adored her rosemary cheeks. They thought sweetly about one another. But he was one day whisked away when she was to bake the army's bread. By the oil of the lamp, Flora's tears began to salt her bread. That's crazy. The recipe asks everything to combine flour, yeast, sugar, olive oil, and rosemary. Combine the salt and water together and add to the mixture and whisk until the dough begins to firm. That's actually a cool way of figuring out. I would hate this though. Like if I went to a recipe website, okay, recipe websites are already incomprehensible because they start with a whole story and they talk about how their mother used to make this when she was still alive after she escaped from the war, you know, as her husband was like gunned down on the boat that they used to escape across the waters. And it's like, buddy, I just want to get to the part where I braise the meat and I put in the soy sauce and it tastes good, all right? This is worse than that because you have that story. But you have to then decode the story to figure out, okay, what do the bullets represent? Like, do the bullets represent, like, iron? Like, should I be throwing in, should I be throwing in, like, powdered pig's blood for the iron within the blood to make the bread rise? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? And, like, the husband, okay, so you need, like, some concept of, like, marriage. Like an animal that believes in monogamy. And so it's like, okay, well, do you 50-50 on the swans or do you 50-50 on the beavers, right? Like, which one do you go for? Which animal do you cook? And then you gotta figure out, all right, across the sea, that's easy, seawater. But a boat, what floats on water? Do you add lotus leaves? Or do you add water striders? I don't know. Like, this is impossible. I would go crazy. I would actually go crazy. It was 10 to 12 years later that they met again. Okay, so you leave the dough there for 10 to 12 years. Okay, I don't want to read this bottom part. Let's just copy this out somewhere so I can read just this and see if we can figure out let's see if we can figure out the next step of this recipe just from this. It was 10 to 12 years later that they met again, seemingly by fate. Flora's unique dough had earned her position as the king's personal baker. Yates had found success as well. He baked for the kingdom's 45 diplomats. One day, they returned from the Dutch Isles with a gift. 450 unbaked loaves and was sent to the palace bakery to teach a method that required no kneading. What the fuck do you do here? How do you continue on from this story without the footnotes? Allow the dough to proof for 10 to 12 hours. Okay, sure. Okay, I can get that. Then spread it out and let it sit for over 45 minutes. I don't understand. How do you get 45 minutes from 45 diplomats? This is actual torture. Like, this is baking torture. I'm gonna... I'm just going insane. Sorry, Okay, so 45 minutes. What in God's name is 450 degrees Celsius unbaked loaves? You bake the loaves, a Dutch Isles Dutch oven. One day they returned from the Dutch Isles Dutch oven with a gift, 450 unbaked loaves, 450 degrees Celsius, and they were sent to the palace bakery to teach men that they required no meaning. Prepare a Dutch oven. Okay, I'm getting better at this. Okay, next session. Next session, here, up until the parentheses. Okay, now close this. Upon seeing Yates, Flora was both delighted and distraught. So it didn't cook. Okay, so this. Okay. First sentence implies bread failed to rise. She felt as if she was torn in two. Oh. The remains of the failed bread were salvaged by cutting the loaves into halves. She had not been made aware of the gift and had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. Oh. That extra flour you have after preparing dough for baking that covers the walls and your fingers and your table and your kitchen countertop. Combine into one bun. She wished to greet Yates warmly, but was struck by fears that he'd be unable to bake with her, that she'd face retribution for being unprepared. She cried to Yates, adding more salt to her dough. Salt buns. Okay, so am I right? Cut the dough into 2 equal pieces and lightly sprinkle the salt across the top of only one of them. I can't believe this. You can't. I need coffee. Just be a brief. I didn't mean to take that long. I'm sorry. You wouldn't believe what happened. So a bit like a baker, in the way that a baker would bake something, and would not read the instructions and say I can wing it, only to realize that baking is effectively modern day alchemy but with ingredients. I did the same thing with the coffee when I accidentally poured in too much salt, because so you have multiple different types of thingamabobs, like different containers for the various things, and I picked up the salt by accident, so I poured in the salt and I was like, it's weird, it's salty, it's not really tasty. So I was like, okay, I can fix this. So I transferred everything over from my cup into like the larger strainer thing, so I had to wash that first, and I was straining the coffee to, like, you know, make it good. It's like the IKEA strainer where it's at the bottom. It doesn't really strain well, but you know, it's your best bet if you're lazy to do the full thing. Got a lot more water in it, so you put some more water in, and you're like, okay, well, it's a bit diluted now, so I had to add some more coffee grounds. So I added more coffee grounds, and I'm like, okay, let me add the sugar in. But at this point, you know, sorry. And then I was like, okay, well, the coffee's looking good, so then let me just add the milk to it, because I'm lazy to carry down like a bunch of milk too. And I realized, wait, there's not a space for the milk, so I had to like pour some out into like 2 separate cups so I could have some space inside the coffee, you know, container, the coffee jar for like the milk, because I'd like to combine it into one. And then I was like, oh, wait, the milk has cooled down the coffee, so it's not going to melt the sugar anymore. So I had to make like a sugar mixture off on the side in its own bowl, and I poured that in. So at this point, my countertop is covered in various liquids, and there's like sugar, water on this side, and the ants are gonna have a good time. And then there's like milk on that side, and there's like coffee grounds on this side. Like it's a whole mess. And somewhere like MSG came into play, because I was like, well, if it's already salty, you might as well add some MSG and see what it tastes like. Tastes pretty good. I think I'm still, in a way, it's a bit like having that like cheese foam coffee that you would get that was really trendy for a bit, you know, but just the entire coffee is just cheese foamed. And I realize now I forgot to do something. I forgot to put the milk back in the fridge, so just give me a second. Sorry, I gotta put my bag of milk back in the fridge, because, you know, it's kind of the bag of milk is secured. We're gonna go back into this. Oh god, I forgot. It's the baking thing. Okay, let's just delete all this now. We don't need the baking thing anymore. It was funny at the moment, but now that I have coffee, I realize it's just torture. I don't really want to do this. Let's see what happens next. Yates eased her pain. He insisted she had no obligation to prepare for a churn she thought impossible. Oh my god! He knew if they did not solve her predicament, they'd miss their final chance to bake together. In the end, instead of wallowing in the present, they worked together to shape the future. They twisted and entwined their doughs and baked them as one. Thus was born the plated loaf. Wood quickly spread this new to light. The king's decree on the royal parchment was that it would be considered a delicacy. Roll and twist the pieces to entwine them, then take the twist and wrap around the inside of the Dutch oven, atop parchment from outside inward to make a swirl. Okay, I just realized what this story is about. So there was a third theory that I had at the beginning that I dismissed by this point because I was like, it doesn't make any sense. But I'm starting to bring it back, okay? Well, actually, no. It's exactly the theory that I have on the board, actually. Basically, my theory on the board is, I think, correct, but I don't think it's this. And nor do I think it's this. I don't think it's the split up. I think it's specifically this one. I think it's the middle. Basically, if you look at this, this story tells a story of baking bread, but you can't tell that from just a story alone. This is written by Steve Garland, who is Christine Garland's husband, and when they eloped, right? And we know that they eloped at some point. They met after a long time afterwards, and it took a very long time for them to meet. And honestly, if you read it by itself, it does sound like a very fanciful story to try and, bake bread with. But also, actually, I think it has a hidden identity as a biography of specifically their romance, and specifically when Christine was brought to the swinger party, because we know that this was a thing that they did because of this piece right here. So we know that she was brought to a swinger party by Void, Pennsylvania. Steve Garland, Kitchen Tales. Fry Dye, My Boston Homepage. Is it here? Million Year Picnic. No. Chef's Signature, is it here? What does it say about the swinger party? I swear there was a line about the swinger party, no? Antonelli's. Yeah, Antonelli's. Where's Antonelli's? Goliath? Guy Hudson. Antonelli should be somewhere here. Has a mistress named Susie, but the Antonellis, he's invited me to join them. In reality, Edson Suarez, Sonia Suarez, Ashley York, partner of Flavio Flores, Incendio de Bordo, or Photo, Piketty Photo, Charles Martin, 50-50, Robin Martin, Lang Hongbo, Lucy Lang, Silly Sanchez, Min Lang, Team Talon Club, Big C Bass. Where did I write down specifically? Oh, there's already a to-do page. Where did I write down specifically the portion where I was like, okay, well, we need to look at the... And then the mother of Antonelli's. Antonelli's is an Italian restaurant. Christine Garland responded. Here we go. Christine Garland responded. Butler County Times. Christine Garland responded. They reconnected. They grew apart. Antonelli's. Christine Garland is the name of the... In reality, it was more of a mutual arrangement. Here we go. Christine Garland is named the person who was a farm supervisor, was already pregnant and married, and already eloped by Valentine's Day 1978. Her husband is Steve Garland. But there was a part where it says that she was being brought to these swinger parties, and how it didn't look like she was enjoying it. How do I find that piece? But it looked like she wasn't enjoying it. Let me... There was a very specific article on this. Christine Garland. Elizabeth Garland. That's her mother. No. Okay, well, shit. I lost it. But somewhere, we do have proof somewhere that we saw that it mentioned that Christine looked very, whatchamacallit. Wait, Guy Hudson says something to believe large holiday parties. No. Basically, it seemed like she wasn't really into being at that party. So she didn't really want to be there. And she looked very hesitant or something about the swinging part. So, Christine Garland. Steve Garland. Groovy. Okay, sued by Kitchen Tales. Had to learn copyrights. Yep. Kitchen Tales was a thing, had to learn to translate. I don't think it's going to talk about this here. Puff Piece Valentine's Day 1978. That's recently. Married Things, Rochelle Zimmer. Yep, okay. Christine Garland. Although they grew apart, the relationship switched. Somewhere in here, it talks about how Christine went to these parties and she didn't look comfortable, right? And this story, in a way, kind of feels like that. They were apart for 12 years. They reconnected. Then they eloped. And he wasn't mad because Steve wasn't mad at her because she used to be a secretary and then she came back to work at the restaurant to help her mother deliver things because her mother was the supervisor of the Anderson farm. That's how they sort of like this whole thing is connected, right? So presumably when she came back to do that job, she met Steve, and then she went back to be the secretary, right? So, but this basically, if you look at this story in that light, in the light of their relationship, I think it tells a very different tale. One of specifically what led to their eloping, as well as what led to the birth of their children and who they were. So for 2 years they flirted. Baker's Flora and Yates flirted. Okay, as far as I know, you can't anagram this to make their name, so it's not that easy. Their friendship thing, and they had to figure it out. And then he was whisked away, conscripted to bake the army's bread. I don't know if we ever read about him baking the army's bread, but assuming that's what happened, that kind of makes sense. Maybe this was probably around the time of like the wars and stuff. And then 10 to 12 years later, so and then now she has and you know, it's that saying, you have a baby in the oven, right? Earned her position as the king's personal baker. Flora had earned her position as the king's personal baker. King could probably be for Guy Hudson, right? He was baking for the soldiers, and he brought a bunch of things, okay? But Flora was delighted. She felt she was torn in two. She'd not been aware, and she'd already prepared buns for the palace ovens. So she already had buns, and she actually cut the buns in two. AKA, she had probably twins. She had two buns inside the oven that she was baking. And she was worried that he'd be unable to bake with her, that he'd be unable to impregnate her now that she was already full. Or that she was worried that he would reject her. Like, one makes sense. Can you get pregnant while you're pregnant again? I don't think so, right? Because the egg disappears and then your body doesn't drop an egg until the very end because of hormones. But babe, so this probably implies that she was worried that he wouldn't accept her for who she was, but she didn't care. But he didn't care because it was like, you know, he's not gonna blame her. It's been so long. So they decided if they did not solve their predicament, they missed their final chance to bake together. In the end, instead of wallowing in the present, they worked together to shape the future. They twisted and entwined their doughs and baked them as one. AKA, they both decided to take care of both of these two separate doughs and take care of them together. Actually, in a way, this probably implies that maybe Steve had a child that he brought back, and then Christine had a child that she brought back. I don't know. They twisted and entwined the doughs. Thus was born the plated loaf. The king's decree, which is interesting because the king is Guy Hudson, on royal parchments, which implies this idea of like maybe the clans of trust, was that it would be considered a delicacy. AKA, he wants to eat his own children. Bankrolled by the king. Oh my god. What do we know about them? Where Flora and Yates spent their days baking together. They traveled for 45 years and settled down for 15 more. Their souls were golden because they're burnt to a crisp inside of the oven. If you've ever seen a baker's hands, it's like they're like 95% cooked meat. Okay, you could bite into the arms of a baker, and it might taste like jerky. Then their souls were golden with no regrets, and then obviously instructions. But this specifically bankrolled by the king. Guy Hudson is paying them off, and we know that they had trouble starting their restaurant initially based on an interview given with their children when they're talking about their restaurant Fried Eye. So if we go to Fried Eye, Wicked Overrated, My Boston homepage. No, where is it? Here we go. James and Robert Garland, chef's signature, okay? My father was a chef and my mother grew up on the farm, and that's how they met. So they basically met as like children, well younger. He wrote a book, they told him the stories, that thing. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary even after Robert was born. That story was a look into what Guy Hudson gave in exchange, or rather, how Guy Hudson took advantage of someone's lowest point. I don't know how I feel about this. Guy Hudson was a terrible person. But the extent of his terribleness is sort of like up in the air for certain individuals. I think it's a very case-by-case basis because maybe for Lang Hongbo, it wasn't that bad. Or, Lang Hongbo was the father. Maybe for Lang Xinyu, it wasn't as bad. Because she already had a successful business. She was already in line to take it over. But maybe not. Because it's, again, this is a time when misogyny was a real thing. And then we know that Lang Xinyu was going through some things with the father, probably. There was something about the fact that he had all daughters. And I think it mentioned some of his feelings about that. But even then, if you just think about the power imbalance of like a US company that's very successful coming over to like China and saying, hey, you small textile company, do you want to take part in this? I think there's something there. In general, I feel like Guy Hudson has been a very, very manipulative and very, very unsavory character who's taken advantage of his overall power and his resources to get what he wants. But, and this matches with what Cecily Sanchez says about him too, where he has this sort of ego about him, this like narcissism, where he believes that he's really good, like the second coming of Elias. My brain, it's like I'm searching through a slow hard drive now. I used to have an SSD when I was younger, and now my brain's been downgraded to an HDD. Elias Roottrees, like he's the second coming of Elias Roottrees. And so he knows that he uses money to get what he wants. And in this, he was like, oh, okay, I'll bankroll you two because that's my child. Or, well, yeah, I guess this does throw a wrinkle into the whole thing of like maybe it wasn't coercive, but maybe it was. Because again, I remember reading somewhere, one of our pieces of evidence has this line where it's like Christine Garland did not look comfortable going to the swinging parties. Problem is I can't find it. Here we go. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Here we go. There we go. This denotes Christine's hesitance for the swinging and the possible power imbalance that Guy capitalized or like pounced on. Well, that Guy took advantage of. I don't want to put too much flavor text because it's the flavor text implies an imagery that I don't feel comfortable implying for something like this, because something like this is a bit more serious that requires less imagery and more of a photo lens, if that makes sense. Like you don't really want to put a painter's brushstroke to something as serious as this. You'd want a photograph to remember it as it is, as terrifying and as terrible as it is, to really capture the full depths of depravity on display here from Guy Hudson. But presumably this is what happens, and so this makes sense. The thing is, though, is that she's already with her partner, so I don't really know. But met her daughter at one of Guy's parties. Wait a minute. Steve met her at one of the parties. This means that Steve met Christine at the swinger party. Oh my god. Oh my god. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelle's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties. So that's when Steve and Christine met, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. But it was a swinger party. That's Guy's child. And so therefore, that story isn't... even in its own way is a story that's trying to mask the reality that their journey and their time apart was not because of some effect. It was just to mask the fact that it was a swinger party that she seemed uncomfortable at. Like again, it feels a little bit strange, but she was fine with Steve in the end, but I don't know what that means. Okay, I don't want to imply what their relationship is because I feel like that's reading too much into one single sentence. But I do think everything that we have definitively points to Guy Hudson being a pretty I don't know, pretty terrifying person. Like, he uses his power, he knows what he can do with it. But even on people who say or have hesitancies, right? Because, like, you never have to convince somebody unless it's something that they don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, you never have to convince someone to do something if they already want to do it. It'll just happen. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just do it. And then they'll just say, yeah, all right, let's like do it, right? But if you have to keep on doing it and they show like a reluctance and a hesitancy, what does that mean? One could argue maybe it's on the side of like, okay, well, maybe they're into it, but they're worried about the backlash. But at this point, it's a private party. And presumably everyone knows what they're there for. And so it's probably fine for the optics, right? So you can rule that out immediately. And I think it's always better to assume in probably the worst case, just because, like, I feel like the worst case is more often to happen than not, if that makes sense. So this is interesting. Okay, so her 2 kids are for sure Guy Hudson's. We know this much because they also did actually finalize when we got here as well. She is currently a secretary, and Stephen Garland is retired, so he's currently doing something. She could be a housewife, I don't really know, but she's for sure probably this secretary here. But let's try housewife for now, I don't know. It could be that you only get 4 at a time, but we would have gotten this one sooner, if it was right, as part of that. Like, we wouldn't have needed to get Elias and Bess in order to get the win. We would have gotten Christine Garland by this point. So we know for sure it's Christine Garland, Stephen Garland. I'm pretty sure she's no longer a secretary. I don't know what she does now, actually. Maybe we should see what she does now. The key is, what does she do now? In the diner, according to the article, their parents who are now retired visit Friday. Okay, maybe there's no way it's... Yeah, you're just, I don't know, old. I don't know what you do. You're old. What do you do when you're... What do you do when... You don't do anything when you're retired, right? Like, you're just old. They visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert. It's actually named after them after all, Sistine Chapel. Okay, so, your picnic? No, it's not really necessary. My Boston homepage, Friday. Here we go. I first met Steve in the cooking class, but in the game, we both agreed. I decided to retire when I moved to Boston so we could hang out. So presumably, she's probably like a housewife now. I mean, but what's crazy is that he has no job. He's retired. He's jobless. She retires and she becomes a housewife. This society sucks. Like, you never really lose your responsibilities. Like, what's the point of even retiring? You know what I mean? And that's when you start to begin to realize that society needs to change. So, okay, so this is for sure this. I got this wrong, though. But I know it's Sonia Suarez and Flavio Suarez. But I think it's specifically because of the husband angle. I think that this probably then is the Australia one. Because actually there was 2 within the summertime. So, we know that some of them were his business partners. So, for instance, this one, Roottrees Everywhere. There was one during... There were 2 during summertime. China and Australia. Australia was the one with the Robin Martin. China was the one with Lang Xinyu, probably. And maybe even... I'm thinking, honestly, maybe even... Lang Min's parents. Lang Min's parents. So, like, it could also be the 2 over here as well. There's a very good chance that that's true. So, she comes from Lang Xinyu. The nephew went over to China to help run Roottrees China. There was something about artificial insemination. Here we go. Recently listed on an article, Lang Xinyu... Oh, shoot, it's somewhere here. It's in Guy Hudson, Pussy Slayer. Okay, Guy Hudson. He doesn't... the Predator. Guy Hudson, the Predator. Okay. Lang Xin-yu took over. Company has been performing well. Early adopter of IVF, helping her sister have a child. She was an early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have a child. This feels like a very specific thing to bring up, to note that not only is Lucy Lang, or Min Lang, she grew up in China as Min Lang, and she came over here. And then her aunt and her uncle was Jerry, Linda, Mark Han. The focus on philanthropy. What? Did I ever search this? No. Hanging with the... God damn it. I think I said the same thing last time too. The Hands were chosen because they donate significantly to the cause that further Chinese American culture. Were both born in China, fell in love in college. Linda's father led a huge company, which is the Lang... That was Lang Hongbo. Expanded to the U.S. Linda's father approved their marriage as long as Jerry took over the U.S. portion of the business. So then they moved over. And then... somehow Jerry and I were the ones who sent over here. Now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, so they had Mark over there. The sister stayed in China. Lang Xin-yu stayed over there. Kids are the opposite. Mark went over, and now he's the right-hand man of Lang Xin-yu. And Lang Min came over here to join Team Talon Claw and collect accents. No joke, that's what the game says. I'm not being racist. So, presumably, Jerry, Linda, and Mark are a part of this thing too. Like, there's a very good chance that they're a part of this too as the final affair. But they're still together. So I don't think that's true. But for sure, it has to be at least the other person. But the thing is, like, this is weird, okay? So we know maybe he slept with Robin Martin. But, you know, what, he may have slept with Robin Martin, but the game does put a lot of emphasis on the fact that she already has the procedure to get her tubes tied, right? Is that the right term? So we already know that she can't have kids. So it's fine for her to swing. Like, people can nut in her all the time. It just acts as lube and not as magic baby juice, right? So it makes sense. I think this is Sonia, because this is Secretary before he went to America, and these kids were born because when they went to 1979 was when they did the Roottrees everywhere. When did this happen? Steve Garland. So the second is from a listing for his cooking class. So by this point, he's already had cooking classes in 1978 of September. So he's before all of this. And the kids were already there by 1998. So this is way before Roottrees Everywhere. They were already born by this point. So, okay, I think this actually does make sense. Sonia Suarez is over here. We do Sonia Suarez. We do... I don't know what she was. I put down media mogul, but I don't know what her job actually is. This is Flavio Suarez. Right? For sure this is Flavio Suarez. Because she left her husband, or rather her husband left her, escaping the country to stay alive. Because he's now on the run. Right? So we know that the husband, after the military installed government in Brazil fell, that the husband was now running for his life because he was a major player within that government at the time. So this is Edson, what's his name? Is his name not Eduardo? Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, it only plays for main names. Oh. What was... Oh, there's no Walter White? What's the guy who says, Walter, put your dick away, Walter. Put your dick away, Walter. Put your dick away, Walter. Google, Walter, put your dick away, Walter. What's his name again? Put your dick away, Walter. Walter, put your dick away, Walter. Walter, put your... Mike Ehrmantraut. Can I get like an Ehrmantraut? No. Mike? When was this game made? What's another reference to names? Like, what's another name that we can reference? Tony? Jerry? Seinfeld? What other names are there? I'll figure it out. Anyway, so not okay. Well, so is his name Edson, not Eduardo? Am I just racist? Oh no! Oh no! It's Edson. Oh, I'm racist. Suarez. He escaped, so he ran away after his shit went bad. So Nova Copracao de Brazil. Presumably run by thing. You define the news source that ran the article. What? The company no longer exists. Need to find the news source. What news source was I trying to find? Wow. Oh shit. Here we go. You can search for individual. The Roottrees companies, including Roottrees Brazil, Roottrees Australia, China, Roottrees, and Roottrees France, tend to be difficult to find anything useful about the amount of advertising deals. You can find more by leading to the individual people that led with the deals that led to the company's creation. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of hard to get there. Hand solo. I don't know if there's solo. Let's see. It's a solo. There's no solo. Sorry. We can't do every... There's no such thing as pop references anymore. So, okay. I feel, where was that news thing where it said he ran away? Heard they were planning a new factory and petitioned them. 5 pieces caviar. Unsuccessful strike that led to all of their employees being replaced. Get shit on. That's what you get. That's what you get. How dare you unionize? How dare you want more money for yourself and better working conditions and a better life? How dare you? Was a Brazilian politician. Where did I put this? Susie something. Why is there? Why is it on this page? There we go. Nepotistic. Eventually was ousted when he was voted out when Brazil switched to the democracy and fled. Was a manager at a major and an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American company. Yeah, so this is okay. Edson. Okay, so then he ran away. Remained in office until 1988. He quickly left the town behind. How do I get like a magazine in Brazil? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. But now we know this. She was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telerede, which I think we have a thing about it. It came into being after a vacuum was created. And then we have a Flavio Suarez, and then we know about Flavio Suarez. Wait, he's a newscaster. Her mother runs a news station. It's probably a CEO. It's probably a CEO. It's probably a CEO. People write fan fiction about him the same way. Alright, this was the person I said about the Twilight thing. Okay, so she's probably more of a CEO than anything. And she's probably still there. If she's installed as the leader, she's probably CEO of the place. Which makes sense. Okay, so now this is technically 3 people, as is, in terms of timing. This one is probably it's Xinyu. So we do Xinyu Lang, she's CEO. I'm almost certain that this is it. And then you have Lucy. Well, is it their birth name? Is it Min Lang? And then she's a student, college. Presumably that's how this ladders up. Then you have Christine Fellows. So 5Ps is here. 5Ps is here. Not Jerry Seinfeld. David Fellows. Here. And he is a musician. Presumably, this is where he is. The husband we don't know. Who is this last person? Huh. Okay, before we see the new stuff, let's look into the 5Ps angle. I think I was supposed to solve the 5Ps first, and then they would have given me info about Bess. But I messed up. And there's still the top secret, which we don't really know. Because how do you deduce this truth, right? Like, we're still missing this piece, too. This one was easy because it's a tale as old as time, right? This one is harder because this one feels a bit more modern in its takes, in a world that has sort of moved on from certain things, and so a lot of the reasons are obscured in a way, right? Now we're dealing with the human nature side of things versus prejudice and bias as part of a long-term conditioning based on your environment, right? So it's getting harder. But what was the last 5Ps thing that I was reading? I was reading something about 5Ps. I have it somewhere in my history. When we came here, Felix Fellows, root of all evil. Oh yeah. The single didn't make a splash. Whitlock, known for publicity stunts. Yes, spunk. All your problems. He can point out the only people who think money is evil are those that can have it. You find a copy of the song. Stevie Whitlock is a lawyer with a history of publicity stunts. She became famous in the mid-1980s after successfully suing a multinational sandwich company. This is the Subway thing. Dirty Davy. Dirty Davy was 5P's last name. Dirty Devil was his first mixtape. Right, Yes I Can Jump seems to be at the center of the confusion. But white men can't jump from the movie, right? Reference to the movie. This reference caused some confusion. This would have been in 1994. This would have been... So in 1994, he was 17. Wow. What did I say? He was 16. Right, so yeah, 1994. His mother died in 1993 when he was 16. Others claim he was trying to make himself sound older. And then I think from here... What else was there? There's other track lists and stuff, though there's very little to go on. And then I went backwards, because I was like, okay, what other songs are there? No, what other things he's done? And then there was Dirt Poor. So we went to Dirt Poor. Then we jumped to Bess Williams. Sorry, that was a bad move. There's a lot of online discourse for people who like to point out that in one of the songs, Felix Fellows includes someone that would be revealed to be his distant cousin. The lyrics to one of the songs, Heat, mentions a few different prominent actresses. Dirty Davy Heat. Raina was clumsily replaced by Dana, a reference to the character from the X-Files. Hello, chat. How are you? How are you? How you have? We're going to be playing together soon. Hi, streamer. we're going to be playing together soon. Dirty Davy. You just missed an entire sequence of events where we figured out the hidden meaning behind a bakery story. We figured out the reason why they left together and why one of the children is not there is because of a baking story. It's good that we're playing Fortnite after, because I feel like my brain is turned off. I've only been at this for maybe like an hour or two. My brain's already gone, so this is good. But welcome. Oh, also, I forgot to respond. Let me respond. Okay, so we have this. Heat. Okay, provides a crude punchline. Soon, very soon. Oh, was that the bit about the loaf folding? Yes! Oh my god, you were here. Yeah, it was the loaf folding. And how like the loaves... So the loaves of bread... The loaves of bread in this whole story is actually about the two children. And so like... one child and then the other child, and they raised them both as the same child, and then, you know, they eloped, but really we know that it was from a swinger party. That's why these two on the board have been solved. Garland James and Garland Robert are both the children of Guy Hudson. Oh, you were looking. Okay, good. Okay, so were you there when I broke down trying to understand the story? And how I was like, recipes take too long, they talk about the family, something about the husband dying or something, and I was like, okay, iron, pig's blood, and do you eat swan or do you eat beaver? There was a whole mess over there. There was a whole mess. How do I get 5 P's? This was his original name, Dirty Devil. Dirty Davy. Felix Fellows. Root of all evil, with the headline more poser than my action figure collection. His real name is Davy. He used to go by Dirty Davy. And another ruse, the fact that this rebranding was a blatant marketing stunt at the expense of his mother's tragic past. She overdosed when he was 16. Apparently, only one of the songs on the album was new, and others were simply rewritten to turn blatant references to sex, drugs, and violence, clumsy euphemisms. On the cover of News Time, wait, he rose to prominence when he appeared a few months ago on the cover of News Time holding a photo of his mother with Guy Hudson. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh, you weren't paying attention? Don't worry. Don't worry. All you missed was a breakdown. I was feeling stressed about everything. How was did you have to update Fortnite? Mine was 100 gigabytes because I had to reinstall it. I still can't believe that this game is 100 gigabytes large. It's actually absurd how large this thing is. What's crazy actually is that like the game itself isn't that large. It's just the main Fortnite section that's massive for some reason. It's ridiculously huge. Actually, let me just see if I can press this button. Does this work? Is it broken? Easy anti-cheat. Sure. Uh-oh. It's loading. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I pressed a bad button. Uh-oh. How do I stop it from loading? Uh-oh. We like Fortnite. We like Fortnite. Okay, can I stop, please? Uh-oh. Oh no, this is for later. Uh-oh. Sorry. Uh-oh. Oh god. Okay, Fortnite, sorry. In the background. If you hear guns, I'm so sorry. So, News Time is a major news periodical that releases a new issue every week. The rapper 5Ps famously appeared on the cover claiming to be a Roottree. And 1 week later, Miracle Roottree did the same, denying that he was. Because this high-profile back-to-back discourse, right before the start of Roottreemania, they appeared to be the de facto publication to get news about the ongoing Roottrees saga. They reported record subscriber numbers during this time, which lasted until the end of Roottreemania, when the world generally stopped paying much attention, and they went back to reporting on more traditional news. News times appear to be available in my periodical search. Nice. Okay, good. So we have a photo of him and his mother with Guy Hudson. Okay, that's really, really good. Periodical where 5Ps... Okay, my bad. Fortnite exploded my computer. Fortnite exploded my computer. So everything kind of died. Please don't tell me I lost everything. Please tell me it auto-saves as I click around and I do some weird stuff. Please, let me look at my board. How's my board looking? Is my board good? Okay, good. Just imagine like a tornado ran through my room and everything exploded for just a moment and everything was lost for just a little moment there. My bad. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. I don't know why Fortnite... my computer has been having issues. But hopefully it's fine as long as I play it normally. And I start Fortnite before anything else. And then I kind of have it go from there. I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. And nothing bad should happen to us. But we'll see how it goes. What was I reading in the middle of this? Before I died, what did I read? There's something very important. This one, News Time. Okay, so we now have this. So, technically, where he posed with a photo of Guy and his mother. So this is a very key source of information. Well, Guy and his mother, okay, within News Time. So we both have a photo of them both. And presumably information. And presumably that should lead to ultimately everything else. But we don't know exactly where she lies within this, like, circle, basically. But presumably, now that he's getting more popular, 1993, he was born in 1977. He was born in 1977. What? When did... Wait, go back to Pennsylvania. 1977. September of 1978 is when Steve Garland did this thing. Steve and... what's her face? But they're still married. Like, they're still married. So yeah, he came before. So this is for sure. This is for sure. We don't know her spouse. But we know her job. This is for sure Christine. And this is for sure 5Ps. Okay, so we know all this. Okay, good. So the timing makes sense. The timing makes sense here. Anyways, at first the Roottrees company denied it vehemently. Miracle Roottrees even appeared on the magazine a week later, but since then they've backtracked and publicly welcomed him to the family. Their press release at the time stated that they had new evidence that confirmed his story. Okay, so what is the press release? How do I get to the Roottree press release site? Much has changed, although the design itself has become much more sleek and focused. The science... okay. Wait, this is new. Much has changed over the last many months at the Roottrees Candy Company. I never read the old one either. One of those things is its website. Although during your last search, you only got a good look at the history page. The design itself has clearly become much more sleek and very corporate. Gone is any history focused on Eli's Roottrees. Instead, the site seems to focus on the present status of their candy offerings, with high-quality JPEGs to each of their products. JPEGs, very nice. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? There are also some small ads for Roots, which is the clothing company owned by the Roottrees Candy Company. There's a small section on the bottom that lists the president as Clark Rafferty LaRue. A short bio mentioned that he's responsible for some of their marketing before taking the reins after the unfortunate plane crash. There's also a small memorial section for those that perished in the plane crash. Okay, I definitely didn't read this at all. Including the Roottrees sisters Carl Brender, Kurt Johnson, Mark Sanchez, Trish King, and Eliza Nicholson. Who are these people? Kurt Johnson and Mark Sanchez were the pilot and co-pilot. Oh. Carl. The assassins of the Roottrees jet during its crash last December. They have an official jet? What is this, like Air Force One? Yeah, it's like Air Force One. What is this? During its crash last December. Although the NTSB investigation, the National Transportation and Safety Board, in the United States, there... Sorry, I just... In the United States, they're responsible for investigating plane crashes. This is incredibly topical. Wait, this game is... I don't think this is a game. I think this is like a Mayan calendar thing. I think this is a herald. Between this and Hitchbot, I think we're seeing effectively what is like a prophecy of things to come within the US. This prophesies today in the US. Holy shit. Although the NTSB investigation has not been released, foul play has been rolled out. Trish King was on the cabin crew of the Roottrees private jet, so she's cabin crew on the jet. But why is she there? Carl did have a sweetheart named Christine Valdez. Elizabeth Nicholson. Elizabeth. Oh shit. The Predator. Susie. And a mistress named Susie. Guy Hudson. And a mistress named Susie. None of these people, but we know his mistress was named Susie. Okay, we need to figure out who is Guy's mistress Susie and Elizabeth. There's multiple Elizabeths. There's the Anderson Farm Elizabeth, which is the mother of Christine Garland. There's the Elizabeth that used to be his secretary, Elizabeth. Wasn't there another Elizabeth? Well, we thought the Elizabeth would have been somebody like for Elias, but then I realized about the lisp, so it's not her. Mutually beneficial. Christine Garland, her husband is Sting Garland. Okay. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage. Yada yada yada. I guess the family put a stop to it. But Guy Hudson, Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers. Don't you dare compare yourself to Mr. Rogers. Don't sully his name like that. Okay, Elizabeth Nicholson, who went by Eliza. Not in the Predator. This one really should be its own place for now. Wasn't Carl? Actually, delete this because I did it wrong. Elizabeth Nicholson went by Eliza. Lived in a house with a family about 200 yards from the section of the woods where the plane crashed. She reportedly had a heart attack during the commotion, and the family were unable to reach emergency services due to the overwhelmed phone lines and the ongoing storm. Her son-in-law managed to flag down an officer responding to the plane crash, but it was too late. Okay, it was an unfortunate bystander, was an unfortunate victim to the accident. There's a famous surgery that has a 300% mortality rate. The patient died. The other doctor on the operation had a heart attack and died because of the blood happening. And apparently somebody in the audience died, or like no, someone in the audience died seeing all the blood of a heart attack, and then the other doctor died of a disease that they got from the surgery. So all three people died. It's like this. It's the same thing. This is the exact same thing. Who is Trisha King? Trish King. Elizabeth Nicholson. Went by Eliza. Lived in the house. This is probably Eliza Nicholson. This is probably the first time, and this is probably how they get you to think about the red herrings, right? This was supposed to be the tutorial. I think I skipped I skipped the entire tutorial. Sorry, I had no clue. I just kind of went on. I basically did the hardest thing first by accident. Again. Okay, well that's good to know. Let's look at the photo. Wrong one. Huh? Where's that photo? These are all old. Oh, it's in News Time. Right, News Time. Periodical. You search for News Time periodical. 5Ps. Felix Fellows, aka 5Ps, famously appeared on the cover of News Time, kicking off Roottreemania. So this is when he kicked off Roottreemania. So there's a picture of Miracle here as well, because he tried to fight back, right? Famously appeared on the cover of News Time. So save this just for later. Kicking off Roottreemania, then a week later, Miracle Roottrie appeared on the cover of the magazine, and the article focused heavily on 5Ps as well. I think Miracle Roottrie cheated. A summary of both articles, as well as a close-up of the photo 5Ps is holding, has been added to your evidence. Yeah, okay, here we go. That's 5Ps. That's his mother and Guy. Felix Fellows, could this rapper be the next Sam Madsen? He was. We'll read it. Well, we should read it first. 5Ps, aka Felix Fellows, appeared on the cover of News Time magazine. Of News Time, holding a photo of his mother and Guy Hudson. The article concerns his insistence that his father was Guy Hudson. The story was dramatic and sensational, initially dismissed as a fake until a DNA test proved that he was related to Guy Hudson. 5P says that his mother Joanna... What? Oh, we never knew her name. But what? He had a mistress named Susie. Who is the first Elizabeth? Oh, I'm stupid. Right. Sorry. Elizabeth, the secretary that Lauren suspected within her little book here, but it was wrong. So, one of the farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. This is the same Elizabeth that is the mother of Christine Garland. So, what other Elizabeth was I thinking of? I think the other Elizabeth I was thinking of was the fake Elizabeth that ended up being Bess Williams. So actually, okay, so her mother's name is Joanna. I like the name Joanna. It's nice. It's a nice name. Okay, so it was Joanna. Mother Joanna was Zach Morden's secretary. Mother's first name was also Zach Morden's secretary first. Only guys for a week or two before quitting. Her parents divorced when he was 4 after his father learned of the affair. Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. So divorced when he was 4 years old. He was 16 when she died, and when she died was around... So when he was 16 when she died, which means he was in 1993. So when he was 4, this puts this a lot before... This matches up. The timeline makes sense. This is before Christine Garland. I just need to figure out what her current role is. Maybe it's still secretary. No, but it would have popped. All women become housewives for some reason after they retire. I don't know why. Life sucks. Zach Morton's secretary, right? Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her and her son's life. He grew up with her until he was 16, but one day his mother never came home from the movie rental store, where she worked at the register. Next morning, they found her dead from an overdose in her car. She had stolen all of the cash from her drawer and spent it on heroin. As Felix went through her belongings, the only thing he had to remember her by were a hairbrush she always used, some photos, and a stuffed animal from her childhood. But then he found it. A box hidden at the back of the closet. Inside were love letters and photos related to Guy Hudson. It was also a letter from his father containing threats. Achoo! He threw it all away, with the exception of the one photo he appears with on the cover of News Time. He says it was the only one where they were dressed. The only one not from the affair itself. Man, this guy's life is fucked up. Imagine seeing all of this for the first time and you stumble upon all the sex photos of your mother and the affair partner. The magazine also includes some additional history about 5P's career. He was born Felix Fellows to Riley and Joanna Fellow. So Riley, presumably this is his father's name, but has never rapped without a moniker. He tried to find success by opening for other artists and even by selling CDs and street coins in Portland. He's only recently started going as 5P's to harness the power of his lineage. The writer did some research into the truth of these claims and was able to confirm that Joanna did work at the Roottrees company as a secretary during sometime the early to mid-70s. It also confirmed she died of a drug overdose and that Felix went to foster care soon after, unable to track down his father. As the Roottrees company, but at the moment the company's blank statement was sent to release the book of Roottrees. The false sexual claims not to be factual and nearly all have been knowingly dishonest. We encourage you to reach out to us in the official capacity as opposed to attempting to use our name for the media for publicity. Okay, so we know what's going on. We know what's going on. Stuffed animal from her childhood. It's a weird line. Weird line to have about his mom's belongings. And also the only one not from the affair itself. His perspective on the world and on these people is driven by the affair. Right? So we have a motivation. I don't know if that's important. Yeah, but yeah, this guy's life is hard. You know what's even harder? I have to pull myself away from this game because we have to get ready. I am a fucking genius. Lang Xin Yu, Lang Min, Fellows David, Flavio Suarez, I'm a genius. We have to end it here though, because we need to move on. I have to go play Fortnite and get things ready. Which I do enjoy. I do enjoy hanging out. So, but I am a goddamn genius. Sonia Suarez is correct, but she's not a CEO anymore. I don't know what to think about that. I'm reading that quick because I'm trying to make good time here. What? Summer Lama, Duma Lama, you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I'm made of rubber. So that anything. Why did you just copy paste like a rap song? What is that rap song? Summer Lummer, Doomer Lummer, you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman. I'm innovative. It's from Rap God? Oh. Listen, I don't remember anything about Rap God. Listen, I'm just saying, I had to do it fast so I could make time to play with you, okay? We're gonna move on now. This game is really, really good. The revelation I had in the shower about Beth and Bess actually did nothing for us. Like, honestly, knowing about Beth and Bess did nothing for me. So I feel less happy that I got this. But I am ecstatic about the fact that we're getting closer and closer to the truth about the five victims, let's say. I want to say that this is more about the victims of his approach. Presumably, his mother was into drugs since before, and he was presumably funding the habit. Or something. Like, he must have some angle onto every single one of these people that has made it possible for him to coerce them using the power imbalance in order to have sex with them, right? So this is some very gnarly stuff to read, and I'm really sad to sort of read this, but it's important to read through this because the game, it's designed to make you sad. Like, you were supposed to feel sad playing this because this is a messed up family that has been living under a facade the entire time. We're here to rip the band-aid off. We'll get to the rest of the evidence next time. This is some good stuff. It's like when I was reading that one bit. I know. But that's why I'm doing it. Because it's time to move on. You know? Just like all these people, they've got to move on. Listen, there's not enough money there's not enough money for all of us. My detective persona, my Detsona has stock. I took over Sam's stock. And so I'm here, and I need to keep it going. This is all my funds here. And the more people that join the trust, the less money that I have. You didn't update Fortnite and it's at 5%. No. Okay, maybe we continue a bit. Okay, who wants to look at the photo of this family? It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. It simply means that we can simply continue doing what we were doing, right? You know, in Men in Black, when they hold up the little beam and it flashes you to wipe your memory. Look, I'm gonna do the same thing, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing to wipe all of your memories. Okay. It's like too much. Let's see how much more time we have, because that's funny. Let's just at least get this photo in, and then we'll call it. Because I do need to download some things on my end too to make it work. So, and we'll just BRB, and we'll play something in the meantime to hold over. The rapper 5Ps appeared on the cover of News Time holding this Polaroid of his mother Joanna when she was Zach Moynihan's secretary at a company picnic. He claims that Joanna and Guy Hudson were having an affair that led to his birth. Dude, anybody who wears these shorts were so popular back then. Like way back then. High-waisted shorts were super popular. This was the look. I don't know why he's wearing a suit in the middle of summer at the beach. But yeah, don't worry. Take your time. Take as long as you need. There's no need to rush. We have things that we can do. Because I have to download one thing too, not Fortnite, but I need to make sure that Fortnite can start on my computer. So Riley is Fellows. What is the mother's job? What does Sonia Suarez do? I guess she's just a housewife now. Like, she's not a media mogul or a CEO. She's not I guess she's a news anchor, technically. Wait, but what is Teleredes? Oh, now it's at 6%. Okay, this one might take a while then. It might take you a while then, so maybe we can just keep on going. Yes, I can do more information. I can find more. But yeah, don't worry, it happens. We have time. Flavio Suarez, people are obsessed like Twitch chatters. Yep, makes sense. Sonia Suarez could possibly mean sexed by Guy. Okay, maybe change sexed into Is it sexual assault if it's still by power of coercion? It is, right? Isn't it? Or is it, what's the other term? There's another term for it where you do it with the imbalance of power. Though I guess it depends on the theory that you ascribe to, or rather, like, because we know now that all sexual assault is really driven by power, by like a power dynamic, or like a need to exert some power imbalance, right? Like it's like, but then there's a third term. There's statutory, there's sexual assault, there's a third term. Being taken advantage of by a guy. Okay, so being taken advantage of by a guy. Nepotistic, he installed his wife. Remained in office. His wife Sonia was put discreetly in charge of a television station. So it's not just a news station. So what is she? She's put in charge of a television station. What do you do as a television station person? It's not a CEO, because you don't make enough money as a television station, because it's a money hole. It's not a media mogul, because you have one television station. Comedian. Wait. Perfect. Where does Jerry Seinfeld fit here? You know, let's do like a Jerry Seinfeld somewhere. So okay, so we got what other job do I have? What job? Not a model, not a mechanic, lawyer, no. hairdresser, baby, baby, you little crybaby. Artist advertising. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what she could be then. Director. Maybe she's a director, but that's like movies and stuff. I'm gonna say news anchor. I'm going to assume that it's a news anchor line of people, right? I feel like that's the best way to make sense of it all. But then, who's the final one? He had a mistress named Susie something. Who is Susie? There's a good chance. There's a good chance Susie is either the final affair or the secret affair. Or the secret portfolio. So, we have this now. Man, it's kind of crazy how the photos in a way are staring at him. Like, she's staring at him. She's staring in his direction. She's looking away like she's done. She's staring at him. It's kind of creepy. Where else do they have sex? What was Australia about? Australia? I know I really should stop doing the Guy Hudson thing, but I feel like it's so important to do. Susie's son slept with his Roottrees Oz business partner, Robin. Had secret child per Tristan Robert. Who the hell is Tristan Robert? Is a businessman who was at the time... Oh, right, this was the guy. He propositioned his wife. I'm staring at him. I'm staring at him. We're all staring at Guy Hudson. This sicko. So, okay, yeah, this was the guy who... So, Roottrees, France, they tried to. It fell apart immediately because Guy Hudson tried to proposition his wife. But he didn't realize that his wife wouldn't... Like, it wasn't gonna happen. When he died shortly after, he seemed to treat women like collectible pocket monsters. Wait, this is probably why he says that he has a secret child. I wasn't surprised to learn that he had a secret child, but he only knows of one secret child, right? But he has multiple secret childs. Pikachu! I think Pikachu is in this folder. This guy is giving Elon all over. Dude, it's actually crazy. This is like the modern day equivalent of like Elon. What's crazy, again, is that like, you could do anything. You could do anything with your life. You could have a happy life, you know, with somebody that you really enjoy. But then people just do this. Like, and I don't get it. I like, genuinely, it's like their mind is in a whole different world that I simply can't begin to comprehend. Like, why would you want to do... No matter how horny you are, why would you want to do this? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Who are these people in the back? That's a golden dress. Wait, that's such a weird... Oh, sorry. This is an illusion. Look. She's not wearing a golden dress. She's actually in a normal dress, but his bottle looks like her golden dress. Who are these people in the back? There's some people in the back over there. I don't know. Maybe this is important to maybe check out as like a red goldfish. People in the back of the photo. What was my theory on Guy? The predator. Had sex with Robin Martin, no child. Lang Xinyu resulted in Lang Min and Lucy Lang. Oh, she was a proponent of IVF. Right, Lang Xinyu was a proponent of IVF. Helping her sister have a child, which means this is probably Lang Min. So Lang Min is probably also the child of Thing. But they should still be together. But this is... it was my theory that they were still together. Sorry, not Lang Min. The nephew. Mark. It was my theory that they're still together. But I don't think they're still together. Maybe they... Oh my god. Jerry, Linda, Mark, Hang. Focus on philanthropy. Born in China, fell in love during college. Somehow Jerry and I were the ones who sent here. Our kids are child Mark. Okay, so we do Jerry, Linda, Mark, but that's not their real names. Their real names are something else. Linda's father approved their marriage. We need to find out more about this. We need to figure out focus on philanthropy. How did I get here last time, though? How did I get from focus? Piece of Asia. Here we go. Piece of Asia is the American arm of Lang Thai, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Going to the website, the Thai and Lang Thai translates to peaceful. Oh, Thai, Lang Thai. So they chose their name in America to match. There are a lot of other companies listed here. Too many to investigate it, as very few of them have seen have any relevance. Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as Lang Thai. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The business is said to be owned by husband and wife Jerry and Linda Han. Their Chinese names are listed too. Jerry is Han Junwei and Linda is Lang Xinyao. This is important. Oh wait, I can just do it here. So, original names: Han Junwei, husband, and Lang Xinyao, wife. Presumably, they're no longer together, or they're just together but in secret, and that their child is also technically guy. So, how do I get to this? How did I get to this thread? Okay, I got to this train of thought because we know that based on the fact that Guy does this stuff with his business partners, they slept with Lang Xinyu, and she's into IVF. She helped her sister conceive by saying, "Hey, IVF is good," but the chances are that's not really what happened with the IVF thing. Chances are they had, you know what I mean? Like it's actually not. It's not that. Chances are it's actually technically the child of someone else. This is Junwei Han. Presumably, the IVF, quote unquote, was just have sex with Guy Hudson, and we'll get money for the company, which also makes sense because Piece of Asia is just the American arm of Lang Thai, and their accomplishments. They have a lot of accomplishments. Piece of Asia. Piece of Asia. Piece of Asia. Piece of Asia has its headquarters in Butler County. It is listed occasionally under many different contexts, as many local businesses are. Here we go. Okay. For sure, they're no longer together. They're technically split up, but they're staying together for the company. Junwei and Xinyao. Presumably. If I was a detective, I would go crazy trying to think of all this. It is listed occasionally under many different contexts, as many local businesses are. Nothing seems important except the first mention from 1981. 1981. The newspaper chronicles that Jerry Han has traveled from China to open the company, which is connected to a much larger company overseas called Lang Thai that has connections to Roottrees. 1981, which is after the summer of 1977, when Roottrees China was made, because they're the younger siblings. It's not a factory. It simply imports and distributes Lang Thai's products. It also mentions that Jerry is the son-in-law of the current leader of Lang Thai. Son-in-law of the current leader of Lang Thai. Son-in-law being Lang Hongbo, and then he died and switched over to Lang Xinyu. As someone close to the family who learned English in school, he naturally raised to the ranks as they expanded their reach to America. Though Jerry's wife Linda doesn't speak English at all, she's currently taking classes, and he's teaching her at home. He says she has always been a fast learner, and he hopes that she'll be at least conversational by the time she gives birth. According to the article, this was not the first time they were in Butler. They visited in the late 70s with the rest of the leadership of Lang Thai when trying to court the Roottrees. It seems the first trip wasn't covered by the newspaper. Oh shit, that's actually very important information. So, wait. Okay, so they were already in Butler County before on an initial trip to court the Roottrees in the late 70s. So, this lines up with the timeline of the Roottrees Everywhere push by Guy Hudson and the predatory actions taken during that time. There we go. Again, I think, and him saying that, I think him saying to the Roottree France guy, that's Tristan Roberts, saying that that's how he celebrates. Like, he celebrates a done business deal by having sex. It's from the perspective of Guy Hudson. Those are the words of Guy Hudson. He's downplaying what he's actually doing, which is, I have something that you need. If you want it, let me fuck you. Shit. But this wasn't covered by the newspapers, so how do I even find this? Oh! Look at that! Oh, wow. Lang Tai, oh yeah, was mentioned in Business Watch. Yeah, this is very important now, this is good. Lang Tai was mentioned in Business Watch fairly often over the last 20 years or so. There were a lot of articles about the rise of Chinese companies. Yeah, still today. Unfortunately, this makes the search results not particularly helpful. When you sort to find the oldest articles, however, one of the earliest mentions from October 1979 stands out as very unusual because it doesn't involve Lang Tai's business. This article details a new at the time medical industry. In vitro fertilization was brand new, barely a year old. Can I just search for this? Or I know what this is, but I'm just curious. Okay, we have two angles. After the first successful IVF birth in 1978, it seemed the industry began to grow, and it featured articles about 3 different companies all over the world, and the cost that they could charge for the services was in Business Watch. This included a few cases of high-profile customers willing to pay a premium. Apparently, at the time, the CEO of Lang Tai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter, Lang Xinyao, aka Linda, and her husband could not have children, her husband being Mark. No, not Mark. Sorry, that's the son. Sorry, that's incest. Han Junwei. Yeah. So in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid key genes to have the child implanted in his older daughter who was unmarried. The cost of this was apparently 280,000 yuan, or just over 100,000 USD. Holy cannoli ravioli. This is a lot of info. Okay, wait. Says Lang Tai came over in 1979, which puts it squarely after the Roottree Everywhere initiatives, which still, I think, points to the fact that, and draws a through line back to Guy Hudson in that whole, have me there and we'll get it going type of deal. But also, Guy Hudson does strike me as the kind of guy who would want to be the father of all the children, and just have, like, he strikes me as a common sperm donor. You know what I mean? Like, some people, in the same way that some people go to give blood very often, I imagine there's like a very small cohort of people who go to give their sperm very often, who find great joy in having many of their offspring, right? Actually, I recently watched a documentary about this guy, I think in Ohio or Pennsylvania, but pretty sure it was some Mormon place. There was an IVF thing, and the doctor was apparently not using the sperm of the candidates, but he was the one who was using his own sperm. So what he would do is he would go into the back room where all the sperm was, nut in the cup, bring it back. And so, like, 1,000 kids, like, there's a whole Facebook group about this. There's like 800 kids, 800 people in his city who are all of his children. And they're finding more and more and more. And he was only found because of the genealogical test 23andMe. So it could be like that. It could be going down this route and sort of like referencing that sort of idea of now genetic testing is so common that you might even find information about a long lost family member that you had no clue about. But at the same time, my family's gone through this, and it didn't work for us. So maybe it's actually harder than we think. But presumably, it could be possible. So, first successful IVF birth in 1978. How old is Lucy? How old is Lucy? Not for, like, weird reasons. Lucy Lang. Min Lang. She grew up in China. Came to the US specifically to attend. I'm pretty sure. Okay, wait. Came to the US specifically to attend. Butch Cassidy. Somehow Jerry and I were the ones that were sent here. After expanded, he's actually in school now. She started to call herself Lucy in high school, flew here as soon as she graduated. There's a good chance that first successful IVF birth was Lucy. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because first successful is 1978, but right now it's... What day is it now? 1999. Wait, that does make sense. That's 20 years later. When do you go to university? I don't know, because I dropped out in high school. I have no common reference for these things, right? I dropped out in high school, became a programmer. Wow. How old was I? I started when I was 14 in high school, grade 9, grade 10, 15, grade 11, 16, grade 12, 17. So you're 18 roughly, right? Freshman 18, fresh 18 when you go to university. Yeah. That does kind of fit the timeline. Right? You start university when you're like 18, 20. 18, 19, 20. It is 21 years ago when the first successful IVF birth happened. This whole thing could be a scam. Not that IVF is a scam. I'm not saying that IVF is a scam. But what I'm saying is that specifically, this is almost playing with the history. Or maybe this was the history of like IVF showing that, hey, like, the first birth wasn't really IVF. Or maybe it was IVF and he really did never have sex with them. Like, there's a world where he never had sex with Lang Xin-yu. There's a world where he never had sex with Lang Xin-yu, and she simply got fertilized with the sperm, right? Again, like, you know, Guy Hudson inside the little room holding the cup. How do you... anybody who's ever given the sperm, can you explain to me the mechanics? Like, how do you... You can kind of aim it, right? But, like, it kind of shakes a little, and, like, you don't really know the force of it. And the thing is that you're gonna touch the cup, because if you try to like aim it so it shoots inside, it's like you're gonna miss, because it's like a whole different, like, some spurts are strong, some spurts are weak, right? So you have to cover it over your willy. I don't know why I'm calling it a willy when I'm this far gone, like a little hat, so it doesn't spill. But like, that doesn't make sense, because I'm assuming they don't want you to touch it, right? Because that'd be kind of weird. But also, I know they have magazines and stuff, but like, has anyone ever missed? Like, what if someone did miss and it goes on the walls or something? And it's like, oh, hey, sorry, I got a little bit on the wall over there. And it's like, oh, it's fine, that's just a cum wall. And you look at it and it's just like stains running down it. Like, there's somebody, I need to know the mechanics of this. I need to... Is there like a video? Can I watch a video? I need to watch a video of somebody giving sperm live. Anyway, so yeah, so basically this does point to the fact that it could still be IVF for both Mark as well as Lucy, right? So both Mark and Lucy, the two kids, could still be IVF children, and it could not have been sex. But I still think it points towards specifically the sex, and that these IVF, and that it wasn't done via IVF. The IVF is a fake out, because it fits Guy Hudson's motive. His motive is to take advantage of people, right? And why would he deny himself the pleasure of sex? He doesn't seem like a Fletcher to me. Which, if you don't know, there's like a belief, or like it's like a cult or something that believes in like breeding, and they call themselves Fletchers or something. So he doesn't really strike me as somebody who wants to have a lot of kids. He strikes me more as somebody who wants to take advantage of someone's situation. In this case, the Lang Thai business, the desire to open Lang Thai within America. But timeline does match up for this being Lucy. First successful IVF birth in 1978, which could match with Lang Min's birth date. This was the trip where Xin Yao was fertilized. Let's keep it very scientific. I don't really know what the motive is yet. I have a good case for the motive. Like, at what point do you say this is a slam dunk case? Like, if I'm a judge and you're a lawyer and you give me this evidence, I'd be like, all right, slam dunk, Guy Hudson is a predator, right? But I'm making so many leaps of judgment that I don't really know. And it's a heavy thing to say, but at the same time, the way that some of these characters are described, like the hesitancy of Christine Garland, right? Like it just feels like he really is trying to take advantage of it. I don't know. Okay, this is a trip where Xin Yao was fertilized. So 1979 was when she was fertilized. October 1979, which is far after... Wait, October? Yeah, summer. So this is like the end of the year. This is past summer. So this is for sure. For sure. Problem is I need their photos. So now we have a Lang Tai angle. Chef's signature. Why did I search that? Oh! Wait, sorry. There was one more thing to search here. Key gene. Key genes. Wait, key genes? Like genes that have key in them? Like chi? Like Wu Xiao Chi? I don't know if the... Oh, key genes, pronounced key genes, like key, yeah, literally, like, you know, like the I have the key and like the and like your meridian points and your C of key in the center and like the point of paralysis and shit like that. All right, cool. Uh-oh. This was where it happened. IVF company that Xin Yao got fertilized. Is there a different term? There has to be a different term. There has to be a different term than somebody getting fertilized, right? Because like, look, this is what fertilized reminds me of. When you say somebody got fertilized, this is what it reminds me of. But go to YouTube. Here we go.
Eggs, fry to fertilize. The way you move your hips, girl, make me hypnotized. How you like your eggs?
Fry to fertilize. Fry to fertilize. Fry to fertilize. The best part of the song is that their dance is them like, here, look, I'll just show you at the risk of getting copyright, okay? It's the best music video because the best part of the song is that the dance is them flipping the pan with the egg on it. Look. Fertilize. It's so good. But that's what that reminds me of, okay? So I need a different term besides fertilized. It's just, it's a bit of a cursed term for me. Fertilized was a medical company with operations in both the US and China. They made international news in 1994 after a whistleblower came forward. Apparently, their services were in some cases falsified. Alright, we have the smoking gun. This is the smoking gun that ties Guy Hudson to everything. This is the smoking gun that gives Guy Hudson's motive. If I was a judge, now this is a slam dunk case. This is like open, close, shut. Like, get the jury out of here. We don't even need them, all right? Throw the book at this guy. While they did often perform IVF, the whistleblower proved that a few of their customers paid for a very different service. An alibi. Huh? I didn't expect that. I thought they were gonna pay for sex. Like, they'd call up Guy and be like, all right, pussy prepared. And then he'd come over and be like, all right, time to fuck, right? But the cheating happened before the alibi. And then the alibi is how they fake it to make it... And then Han Junwei probably found out and that's why they're divorced. The company would claim they performed IVF on someone who was already pregnant to create a cover story for high-profile families who did not want to give up the child, but did not want the shame of an unmarried mother. The whistleblower claimed they helped to do this at least 6 times, but only provided proof of one case, the daughter of an American politician who was related to your investigation. Key Genes soon shut down soon after, and both founders have reportedly fled to Lebanon, where there's no extension to either China or the US. See, why would they mention China here? I actually think this is maybe not the best piece of writing, because like, this piece, they should have omitted this. If you're thinking about a news article or something that you learn about that's within the realm of this game, and you're within a US-centric view, this shouldn't even be included. Because to get here, you could get here, because I don't think you can get here any other way. You can't get here from IVF. You have to come here from the Lang Hongbo angle, from the Lang Tai angle, right? So knowing this gives too much of a hint. I think they should remove this and just say to the US, because when you read news articles that are similar in vibe to this, they don't care about the extradition treaties to other countries. They only care about the extradition treaty to the country of origin of the article. They only care insofar as, can this person be brought back to where the article is written and where their case is, right? Which in this case is both in the US. And so I don't think it would make sense to have this line here. This would then probably increase it, but also make it feel much more real, because it's like, okay, like it really does feel like a real article. So A, immersion, but B, it would also be a skill check. Like, you have to be paying attention to all the very obvious clues, the extremely obvious clues. Because this is the hint that makes you go, wait a minute, could hers be fake too? Why did it say China? Whereas if it just says the US, then it's like, oh, maybe it's not important. But if it just says the US, it fits with the game's theme of... I'm just criticizing, but I feel like this is just too much info. Anyways, this was a different bit of information. I didn't expect this. So, 6 times provided a cover for pregnancies that were already existing. So, wait, this timeline's a bit fucky. When did they get married? Fell in love during college. So they fell in love during college. Okay. I was kind of worried that she was in high school when Guy did it, because then it'd be even more fucked up. Like, he'd be like a sex pest tourist, you know what I mean? But I think it probably happened during that meeting. So 1978 is when they went to visit. 1977, summer of 1977. So timeline of this plus the rest of the... Plus timeline of the visit plus this revelation implies that both his sisters got pregnant during Guy's visit in 1977. So presumably, yeah, so it still makes sense. Still, Lucy would still be college age. This is my best work yet. Yo, if you're a detective and someone died, let me know. I can help. all I need, I just need to see the body and like maybe like 1 or 2. Actually, maybe I don't want to see the body. I just need to see. I don't know what I need to see. I just need to see some things. All right. Give me some information. Give me some knowledge. I can help you. You know what? You think you're adopted? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you think that you're adopted. I can find your family. Or you think your parents are cheating on you? Yes, it's happening. I don't even need to look into it. It's for sure happening. You think your partner's cheating on you? Guaranteed it's happening. I don't even need to look. I'm the best goddamn detective in town. So this is Xinyao Lang. She is CEO, I guess. But we have no photo of them. The only remotely Chinese-looking people that we have is Xin Yu and Lucy. We need more photos of Chinese people. That's a weird thing to say in the context of reality, but it's fine. We've long since left reality and entered this. We go into a periodical, we go key jeans. Whoo! That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I should have moved this to its own section. Like, each one should have been... the developer gave more pages, and here I am putting everything into one single page. I need to know who had the 5 sexes. Well, so I'm moving away from the 5 sexes term. I think because 5 sex, consensual, fun. It's a fun time between 2 people. What he did was more like a predator. He smelled desperation. He smelled a desire that was unfulfilled. He smelled a need that he could pay for and step in with, and basically exert his power and the influence over in exchange for sex. This is the 5 victims now. So no more 5 sexes. This is the 5 victims. All right. Well, is there a page 5 sexes? No. This is now the 5 victims. / the 5 victims. So you have the 5 P's. Now you have the 5 victims. But we're getting close. You are correct that I do need to know. You're not wrong. I'm not reprimanding you. I'm realizing that this is a much deeper story than I realized. I thought it was just like, you know, we're having lots of sex. I'm not everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like a revolver, but it's like missing one bullet. Key Jeans Company was mentioned once in an article you already read about the head of Lang Tai, but then again later in 1994. There's a long article that spells out a huge controversy. Controversy. Seems that the whistleblower came forward to the U.S. government about Key Jeans, which is said to have been founded in China by a partnership involving American and Chinese medical specialists who then built their medical facilities in the United States. The article mentions that the whistleblowers... I need more coffee. The article mentions the whistleblower's claim. Key Jeans will sometimes claim that they performed IVF when they did not, so it would often be used as an excuse for an otherwise unexplainable pregnancy. They'd fly their clients to America, where they would stay for an extended period of time, then return to China with news of a successful IVF pregnancy. The whistleblower apparently presented the Department of Health and Human Services with credible evidence. At the time, the article was still an ongoing investigation, but Business Watch speculated, after copies of the proof were leaked to various media sources, that they couldn't imagine a world in which the company would be allowed to continue operations without facing serious legal or financial circumstances. Same as the other article, but key is that they explain more about the process. Flying out for an extended stay to cover up. Also notes that the proof given to the Department of Health and Human Services was leaked. Man. Okay, how do I get to the... I need the leaked sources. The problem is I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get there. It could be anywhere. News time! Wait a minute. Yeah. That's right, baby. Oh yeah, that's some good shit. Alright, that's some real good shit. This is not... I don't have the search option, right? How do I... Okay, good. Turn that off and no intuition. The only intuition that I need is my mind and my heart. Key Jeans is a company that was in the news when a whistleblower came forward to say, Jesus Christ, it's journalists when they can't help themselves from summarizing the same thing 5 times over every single time, every single line, every single goddamn paragraph has the same summary. Next time you read a news article, pay attention to how it's a cascading level of summaries. They just keep summarizing the same thing in every single paragraph, but it's like a new summary at the bottom of each one that adds another point, and then the conclusion unravels it like a hamburger, like inside out. It's very annoying. It was in the news when the whistleblower came forward to say that they would perform an IVF, but were just accepting bribes to forge paperwork. News Time did have a few articles about it during the height of the scandal. They produced a hypothetical timeline of how a client would use the company. Generally, celebrities or other powerful people who found out they were unexpectedly pregnant would declare that they were going to use the service as soon as possible. During the final week of pregnancy, the client would travel to a Key Jeans facility in either China or the United States. Oh, that's why it mentions China. Okay, I'm sorry. Developer, I'm sorry. I said that you shouldn't have China there, but I didn't realize that the company also had... I'm so stupid. The reason why it says there's no extradition to either China or the US is because it has operations in both the US and China. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Your game is amazing. They would either travel to either one, usually it's the opposite of their home country, so that they could maintain a lower profile. They would then give birth and be photographed with their newborns. Oh shit! So there's photos of them. During their recovery, they would then stay in the premises for a few weeks to a month. This was equivalent to an extremely high-class spa. And after these few weeks, the photos would be released, and the birth would be announced as if it had just happened. This extra time out of the spotlight would allow the birth to appear to be over 9 months of the announcement, after the announcement that the celebrity was going to use service. What? This extra time out of the spotlight would allow the birth to appear to be over 9 months after the announcement. Right, because then they would find out, but they might find out within like the first week or two, and then it's like, okay, well, like a month has passed, so they need time to stay there for a bit. A few weeks to a month. Yeah, right, okay, yeah. Supermarket tabloid, Piketty. Silver screen is for movies. Starlet, gossip about Hollywood. Teen blast. I very much doubt the teens care about IVF. I very much doubt the teens are caring about IVF around here. How the hell do I get these photos? IVF, or in vitro fertilization, is a medical procedure that allows a woman to give birth to a child that was initially created in a laboratory. Is that? Oh right, yeah, because they take the egg. Yeah, my coworker talked to me about this because she was doing this. She was a surrogate actually, and she actually went through this. It was IVF and because surrogate and the thing, it's like similar processes. But I think for a surrogate, they have to implant the egg, and it's like a huge ass needle. It's actually terrifying. She showed me a photo. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a huge ass needle, dude. And she's like, yeah, it hurt. But yeah, so yeah, they take out the egg, and then they fertilize it with the sperm. Yeah. Or the egg is inside, and then they insert sperm. I'm not really sure. A woman does not need to necessarily give birth to a child developed from her own genetics. Sometimes, for example, a baby from an egg donor could be used. Yep. Other times, a woman could act as a surrogate mother. Okay, that's the one that I know. Who is unable to carry a child herself. If it does come up for the purposes of a family tree, an IVF child from a surrogate family will be marked as belonging to their genetic parents, and the surrogate who gave birth will not necessarily appear in the chart unless she is also a part of the family. Right, that makes sense. So the surrogate is the person who helped it. That said, be sure to investigate these situations very carefully. They can often be tricky or misleading. No. I know exactly what's going on. This is baby stuff. This is easy peasy. I just don't know how to get the photos. How do I get the photos? Business Watch. The whistleblower. E-Jeans whistleblower. This isn't like a normal search engine, so you can't do keyword search. Like a normal search engine, I would be like E-Jeans whistleblower. But this is less of a, I forget the term. It's like it's still keywords, but it's the way that you combine them to form like a grouping of topics. It doesn't work. So I need to get to the Department of Homeland Security. Is it Homeland Security? No, Department of Health and Human Services. Various media sources. Oh, you know what? It was probably only leaked to various media sources. As in, they see the photos, but we don't get to see the photos. Because leaked to media sources being leaked to Business Watch, right? Right. They couldn't imagine a world in which... What if I search Lebanon? They ran to Lebanon, but there's nothing there. I think what we do is we search up specifically about Xinyao and Junwei. Specifically what they were doing. Xinyao and Junwei. But look at Xinyao, Junwei. Specifically their businesses. So we looked at Piece of Asia, I think. We didn't. Yeah, we did. Jerry Han, and they were here with the leadership to court the Roottrees by this point. The Herald? Piketty. News time. Only in Butler County Times do they care. Lang Tai. What is Tranquils? Loudest quilts you've ever seen. Flaming Unicorn. Although they were listed on the website for the Langtai textile company, they don't seem to have much of a connection. It appears they import cloth. What if I just search this? How am I gonna get a photo of these people? Lang Xinyao. Oh, better to search the husband. This is a time when women weren't really seen as much. This was a very bad time for people. What was his English name? Maybe they only hear about him being in English. Jerry Han. Jerry Han. Jerry Han. Piece of Asia. She's taking classes. He's currently teaching her English at home. Conversational by the time the child gives birth. And they did reach conversational level about this point. Han Junwei. Han Junwei Lang Xinyao. Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as thing. I just need a photo of them. Wait a minute. Company records 1975. Presumably, there's something in the records that I can use for this. Okay. No, not the duck. We do this. We do get a photo of. I don't know why I keep doing this. This is from Obsidian. Sorry. Get a photo of Han Junwei and Lang Xinyao. See the Predator page. Photos of them from the Key Genes Clinic. The photos were owned by the Key Genes Clinic. They went bankrupt. Where did they run to? Their operation is still within the city, so presumably all the sources are there. The whistleblower already had something. American politician. Led to Lebanon. I was trying to think of how to get to that. I was trying to think of how to get down to that specific point where we know something, or like where we know who did what, or like how we. I was trying to find a link to somehow get the photos quickly. So photos of them from the Key Genes Clinic. I think that's it. We just need the photo of them, but we can't find anything. Okay, we need to finish the 5 P's thing. Okay, finish 5 P's angle. With Miracle... Fuck up. With his fuck up. Here we go. News time. Miracle Roottrees. This is not... He is not a Roottrees. I guarantee he is not a Roottrees. Join my cult. Join my cult where I will have sex with you. Constantly. The reason why I'm here is because I'm having sex with you. Constantly. Oh god. Again, some photos could be red herrings. But so far, no photos have been red herrings. Some things could be red herrings, but so far, nothing has been a red herring. So I don't, like, except for names have been red herrings. This is the problem, right? It's hard to make a detective game because you can't spend all of your money making useless information. Like, let's say you're an indie developer and you only have a couple tens of thousands of dollars to make a game, okay? Because artists are expensive, and like all of these are real art. None of this is like AI art, okay? They were very specific about saying none of this is AI art, right? How much, like, these are pretty good looking images, okay? Like, they're pretty decently high quality, and they're posed in very unique ways, and they're filled with detail. The key is that they're filled with specific details that allow you to hone in on things, like the picture of Reina, with her ring barely on her finger that we could barely see unless you zoomed in, right? There's a lot of details that are important to this game. So, you gotta pay an artist to make all these images. Do you really want to pay them to make useless information? No. Presumably the writing has red herrings, but presumably, due to the nature of how expensive it is, of how labor is expensive and how, market economics, tying it back to the global economic system, all the photos are accurate, which means the fact that we have a photo of Miracle implies, based on my theory, that he cheated on somebody. Oh no. I wish this game had audio clips. I wish I could insert an audio clip in the different pages, because because real detectives, right? I 100% the modern day flow of a detective is this: sit at desk, start OBS, record with nice $1,000 condenser mic that hangs above their head, while wearing $2,000 noise canceling headphones. Run the whisper model to transcribe into readable notes. Insert both into Obsidian Vault. This is the modern day detective flow. Okay? This is the modern day detective flow. Is they have the condenser mic, they have the $2,000 noise canceling headphones. They transcribe it into readable notes and they insert both into an Obsidian Vault. I can't do that here. I have to transcribe myself. Is it ipso facto or post facto? Ex facto? Deus ex machina. Okay, so alright, let's just red goldfish. Presumably, due to artists costing too much, every image is not a red herring, but text is. Therefore, if we have a photo, we have a sex. There we go. If we have a photo, we have a sex. All right, that's good enough. That's my theory. I'm sticking with it. Okay, cool. Okay, very nice. Let's just finish. I think we finished 5 Ps, and we come back to key genes later, because there's a good chance that the key genes thing requires me to get here's a secret photo of, here's the leaked photo news sources. You know what I mean? Maybe Clark or Sam is gonna come by and be like, these were leaked to the media. You might find more leads on what guy was doing. Oh, you're already done? Okay, well, here's the photos. Enjoy. Yes. Alright, what'd you do? What'd you do this time, Miracle? Miracle Roottrees appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5 Ps that. Okay, it's a miracle! AKA the second coming of Jesus. Get it? Because it's like a miracle birth. You know what I mean? There goes my Christian fan base. Miracle Roottrees appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5 Ps did. I want to highlight this, please. He vehemently denied that 5 Ps is a root tree. This article was from before the DNA test that proved it. Actually, now that I think about this, why did he do this? Think about this. Why did Miracle do this? Why was he so worried about charlatans and thieves? Why was he so hypocritical about this fact when we know that his son, Miracle Jr., tried to steal money from people because his wife, Edith Jacobson, tried to fake an injury? His family, half his family is charlatan and the thieves. The left side, not the right side. The right side's cool. They fix cars. They are the salt of the earth. They're cool. But this side, charlatans, right? So why does he care so much about this? But even then, let's say he doesn't care about the hypocriticality, right? Many people don't care about being hypocritical. But there's another angle to this, where if we assume that because he has a photo that he cheated, per the constraints of game development in a modern world where gamers want more and more fidelity at the same cost, and therefore you must make it back in terms of higher volume sales, even though the economy worldwide is in flux and different currencies are worth different amounts, and so therefore, can you really depend on the quantity in a world that, while it may seem limitless, is actually a zero-sum system? Implies that he had cheated on somebody and has a child somewhere, right? Which implies that maybe his motive was not to say, hey, don't you dare steal our money. There's another angle where it could be like, oh shit, are you one of my children? Don't listen to this guy. That's an angle. Are you one of my children? Don't listen to this guy. Because he doesn't know. He has no clue. And maybe in a way he might have been relieved that this ended up not being his child and was actually Guy Hudson's mistake. Problem. Whatever it is, right? Like, whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He went on to denounce 5P's family membership. Game theory. Hey, it's Matt Pat with the game. Why did he do this? Because he doesn't care about being a hypocrite because his son stole money from people by pretending his wife's sister was in a wheelchair and they run a cult. Instead, he cares because he was worried it was his bastard child that came back for a piece of the pie. This is like a okay. Now that we've only read the headline, like an article posted to Reddit or like Hacker News. Now that we've only read the headline and we've gone into the comments to start a flame war, let's actually read the article now and see what happened. He vehemently denied that 5Ps was a root tree. This article was from before the DNA test that proved it. Miracle doesn't focus much on the details of 5P's accusations regarding his mother and Guy Hudson. Okay, this theory is completely debunked. Again, much like an article posted to Reddit or Hacker News, okay, you start the flame war, and then somebody like 20 comments down inside the very long comment thread says, guys, did anybody here read the article? A line 3 says this is, this and that this proves this entire theory. My bad. My bad. That's why I get to read first. Okay. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the character of those he feels are attacking his family. Exhausted. But why is he exhausted? He starts with the 6 pieces content. He says that although most of the book was based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. He points out that Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottrees, and that Sam did the same before her. That Sam's family was not destitute, and that really it was only her son who chose to take on a job with no salary. We know that that's false. Okay, so this line, this first piece, we don't know if this is true, right? And so all this is like there's a world where this could have been true. This line though is false. If they were not destitute, we know this from the first game, or the first half of this game, Carl would not have had to pay off and keep Bean afloat. What was the name? Bean? Mr. Bean? Mrs. Bean? Bean? Mr. Bean? What was her? Sorry, I know your husband's. He would not have had to pay off all of Ernie's debts, and he would not have had to help Deborah Bean and her daughter, Madsen Bean, stay alive. Like the Bean family would have been excised had Carl not stepped in as the president to get the money. So we know that what he's saying here is false. Basically, this man is a liar. He's a liar. We know this because Carl had to float the beans. And he says that whereas Miracle says they didn't need to because they weren't destitute. There we go. He claims that though they didn't have to, The family helped pay for her son's medical bills after voting that it was the right thing to do. Miracle also says that the story about his father, Elias, shunning EC was a one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum. Stop sitting or be disowned. That's crazy. That's fucking great. Do you know what you've done wrong? No. No. Do you know what your sin is? No. No. Stop loving that man. What? Stop loving that man. Be straight. Love a woman. And you can be my son again. What the fuck? What the fuck was going on back then? What the fuck? What the fuck were people thinking back then? What the fuck was wrong with people back then? What's wrong with you motherfuckers? Guys! You read books about this too, or like I don't know, you read books and like even non-fiction stuff, and you see the attitudes, right? And like even my boss, my old boss, my first ever boss, he was like, yeah, back in school they used to call us the F word a lot, and I was like, damn. But then he was like talking about how like even his family disowned him, and I was like, damn, this is some hard shit, man. It's like this shit just happens, and it makes you go like, how could you even believe a word that you say? And what evil is there within love? A love between two people who are fully consenting adults who know what they're getting into, and you simply have a different preference. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just... doesn't make any sense. For people to hate this. For people to hate that and just do that to someone else. Just and just disown somebody just because of their preferences. Just because of, like, who they are. Like, it's just... It's fucked up, man. Anyways. Sorry, that was a sad moment. I just every day I lose more and more hope in humanity. And this stop sinning a bit zone. Miracle says it was EC's own choice, and that Elias allowing him to earn food and shelter at the company's dime was a kindness, especially considering that he and John continued to live together. Miracle then pivots the fall from 6 pieces. He recounts his deluge of claims to the Clancy trust the family have been subjected to. He doesn't cite any specifics, but says that every time someone comes forward, the family devolves into arguments. They've had to hire an outside legal team to help, but so far every case has been demonstrably, laughably false. All they do is tarnish his family's reputation. He focuses on 5 Ps, who appeared on news time before him. He calls him a grifter and a delinquent, and says he is using their name and products to sell filth to the masses. Of all the accusations, he says it's the most dangerous because it exposes the world to hatred. Oh! He cites 5 P's lyrics as violent, sexist, and ungodly, and prays the boy will repent or retract his lies and family. Oh! Also, now you care about these filthy, moralistic arguments, eh? Now you care about the morality of something. You fuck? You fuck? I need a baby. I need to cool it. I need to cool it. Okay, I'm back. How can you be angry to this music? I don't know. You know what? The music, because it loops, you haven't heard it for very long, right? Because you're like a viewer. So like viewers will just come and go. And viewers, you sort of live in your own world, right? But as somebody who's like living, like imagine you work in an office and they don't even have a radio station. They have like a VLC playlist of the same 4 songs. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. It's insanity inducing. I'm losing my mind. At least put on Spotify. I would rather hear ads than this shit. At least I would get some variety on a day-to-day basis. No, I've heard this song for the last like 30 hours. We've been playing this game. Do we still have a plan? I don't know. I'm actually down for anything. But also, for those of you who are angry, you can get a Canadian poutine. It's a great way to be not angry, because Canadian poutine is Trade war intensifying. Trade war intensifying statement. America is worse off without Putin. That's called retail at Christmas. Well, give me a second. The poutine has entered my body. We have about half an hour to go, and then we'll switch over. But I think we'll be able to do stuff. Are we okay with a late start? I am. I'm still good. I'm still good to go for any time, basically. I basically have the entire day, so I'm pretty much good to go. The only thing that's going to be pushed out is Hello Kitty Adventure Island, but I think that's fine because I'd rather play that tomorrow, honestly. This is more exciting to me than Hello Kitty Adventure Island will ever be. Right? Not to say that Hello Kitty is not an exciting game, but I feel like there's so much more intrigue and depth to it. I can't imagine that Hello Kitty Adventure Island will have any level of like intrigue to this level. I doubt Hello Kitty is gonna figure it and deal with people dying or something. Streamer is making poop. I am making poop for my body. I am. Of all the accusations, okay, so this was the moral thing. Lastly, he changed the future. Miracle states that those that wish to hear the true story can join him on his farewell tour this upcoming fall. He is an absolute grifter. The Miracle's Roottrees are planning on touring the country churches one last time, and that now it's age 71. Miracle is the oldest living Roottries. While he plans to continue preaching in his own church in Butler County after the tour, this is your last chance to hear the truth from the man with the most complete recollection of one of America's most notable families in your own hometown. The article mentions that Miracle's son, Miracle Jr., did not wish to comment. Here's a statement from Clark Rafferty LaRue to the Roottrees law firm. Miracle does not speak for his entire family. We're working carefully on a plan to definitively disprove any claims of infidelity in our family's past. The article also does not refute Miracle's claim that he is the oldest living Roottries, despite Sam Madsen being born the year before him. It was unclear if Miracle made a claim out of ignorance or spite. It's spite. This man is a spiteful, hateful husk of a human being. I hate him so much, and I hated him since he was born. The moment that he was born, I recognized that he was going to be a narcissistic. His family. Miracle Roottrees. Oh shit! There's a new article. Okay, wait. No, we know. Okay, new page. What's a good thing? How do you end them? What's the opposite of a miracle? Oh, tragedy, right? AKA taking down Miracle. This guy's going down hard. Time to cancel. To-do list. Begin Miracle deep dive. I feel like I am the equivalent of... This is like... Somebody should send this game to Frederick Knudsen, the guy behind Down the Rabbit Hole. I think he'd have a great time playing this. This feels like his kind of game. Because like every one of his videos has the same vibe of you just keep going and going down these different rabbit holes until you form a larger picture, right? But this game is literally, it's rabbit hole the game. Quite good. Okay, so that was good info, I guess, kind of. We have a bunch of things, actually. What else was new from that Miracle thing? I think it was just this. I think the only information that we got was just this. She was working as a cashier, was her last job. She died as a cashier. Right? I think. Presumably she died as a cashier. Riley. The one not from the affair. One day where she worked the register, so she was a cashier. So her last job was a cashier. That's all the info that we got from the 5Ps thing. So 5Ps is now solved. We know where 5Ps lies in this timeline, right? His father left them, Riley Fellows, Joanna, with him. Okay, this is all good. Seinfeld Jerry. What the fuck do you mean there's 2 kids? Wait a minute, I didn't even realize this. If Lang Xinyao and Junwei Han went through this, then they have 2 babies? But we only know about Mark. We only know about Mark, the baby. Mark? What's his name? Mark Han. We only know about Mark Han. When we don't know about this one. So one was born from the infidelity. One was born when they split up. Oh my god. That was the nail in the coffin. Oh my god. This is... Oh my god. Do you know why? Probably came out, DNA test, realized, wait a minute, you're not my child, leave. Oh my god. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I think I like this angle that they're going for. Okay, we'll think about that as we go through this new set of evidence from someone. So have I done my to-dos? She's done. So done. So this is done. You know, that's if I figure out where Chris lies. So I did figure out where Chris lies actually. Did I? Yeah, I did. So it's not Chris and Clark. Determine what Christine Garland looks like. I think I know what she looks like. It has to be her for sure, because it's also different hairstyles. Right? That makes sense. So that's good. Woman here is presumably Christine. Yep. Well, can I undo that? There's no undo button? Wow. My life sucks. Who is Guy's mistress? Yeah, who's the mistress Susie? Yeah, we know who that is. Get a photo of Han Junwei. Finish 5 piece angles with Miracle's fuck up. This was the detective's new groove. I think we've got it. I think we got some of it. I don't really know how much we have. Okay, I think we've done all the leads that we could. The key genes is really the one that I don't really know how to go from there. But that could be a red herring. I don't really know. But the fact that they came over implies that they are technically a part of it. Let's check out these. Mary Beth Clementine. Who is this? This photo was given to you by... Boom, 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 boom. Snipe, snipe. Was given to you by Sam Madsen. A woman named Regina... I used to work with somebody named Regina, and I wasn't sure whether to call her Regina, like vagina, or Regina. And she's like, just call me, like, Reg. Or Regina, please. Regina Clementine claimed that her husband has confessed he thinks he's a Roottrie. What? The details of this case can be found in your evidence. Stuart is the older boy wearing a vest. The woman in the photo was Mary Beth Clementine, a singer who may have had an affair with Miracle Roottrie. That's right, fuck you, Miracle! Get fucked, Miracle. Fucked! Sorry. I love when assholes get their shit, you know what I mean? I love when assholes get their shit rocked! Fucking rocked! Yeah! This is all the information I have about Regina Clementine, née Salazar. Salazar! Okay, it depicts 4 people. Regina Clementine, née Salazar. Salazar is such a cool name. Salazar. It's like Alejandro. Or pendejo. Sorry. Like Alejandro. Or pendejo. That's my best joke yet. That's a 10 out of 10. Stuart, the oldest child. A woman named Regina Clementine came to her and claimed that her husband has confessed. Oh, it's not Regina Clementine. Mary Beth Clementine, née Stuart, the oldest child. Other 2 unknown. Why does it keep switching? A2 arrow key. Okay. Here we go. God damn it! I have 2 different pages for the same thing now. Okay, I like the. I like tragedy more. It's cooler. It's a miracle. It's kind of boring. Tragedy feels like a more nuanced pun. Tragedy. Get fucked, Miracle. Get fucked. He's a liar. We on to the denounce 5-piece family. Depicts 4 people: Mary Beth Clementine, née Salazar, Stuart, the oldest child, given by a Regina Clementine, whose husband thinks he's a Roottrie. Presumably Stuart, given that's the only name we got. That's the only name we got. This is presumably the case It's why they don't name these other two. These other two don't get anything. So this could be it. And he's technically the youngest. So what's weird is that he, even though he's up here, he's on par in age with the people down here. So he's on par in age with like Gwyn. No, with Carl. Sorry. Wait. Who's he on par with age with? I'm pretty sure he's on par with age with Carl and stuff, and not Clark. Wait, how because Lauren talked about him being a child or something within the first game. How old is he again? He was the youngest, born a generation after. Lauren already saw him as a child. Yeah, so he's actually in the same. So Miracle is in this generation with Carl, right? So anybody here in terms of timeline, which means he's far beyond everybody except for Guy Hudson, because Guy Hudson is actually younger. No, he's the same age. Well, he's older. This is Miracle. Could this be Miracle? No, this implies that this implies that that it's a happy marriage. That's not true. Miracle's evil. Miracle. I think this makes sense, even though it's kind of weird. He's not, but you know what it is? It's based on the events of 1949. My brother in Christ, he's still sperm at this point. He's actually just like a spermer. He's sperm. 1949, he's just sperm. It has to be this. No. That's assuming that this is real. That's assuming that this is real. Maybe me solving Guy and solving the other one made it so that this accidentally gets solved by being a non-secular, which implies that they found money to pay an artist to make fake content. So maybe this game theory's gone. I'm gonna keep this for now, but remind me to delete this later. So we have that. We read this. We were reading this. Sorry. There's all the information about from New Orleans, Louisiana, and the husband's story, Clementine. She wrote me about a month ago. Apparently, the Roottrees lawyers went after her since then. So this is important to highlight. That should be somewhere else over here into tragedy. Go here, right? So this is where it says it. By the time I received her letter and called her, she told me she couldn't cooperate anymore. Damn. Was silenced by the Roottrees family, and therefore this is the third family that Sam Madsen was talking about incoherently at my front door at 2 a.m. as it was raining, dark, and foreboding. Her husband, who was a police officer and never knew his father, told her he thought he might be a Roottrees, but he's estranged from his family and didn't want to pursue it because he had no proof. She wrote me behind his back. Normally I wouldn't be so sure, but she has some pretty credible facts. Some of it I've been able to confirm. Stuart's mother was named Mary Beth Clementine. She was pretty well known in the 30s to 50s, a singer who went on tour to a lot of churches. You can look her up online. She was a pretty big proponent of adoption. She's a pretty big proponent of adoption. A singer who went on tour to a lot of churches. That's Miracle's thing, okay? I know for a fact that she came to Butler County a few times. I remember her from when I was younger. Now, Gina said that Stuart told her that they always seem to spend a lot of time at the Miracle Church. Yeah, here we go. Mother was a singer who toured at churches a lot, specifically, especially the Miracle Church. She did come to Butler County a few times. Okay. Huge proponent of adoption. So actually, this might be Miracle. You know what this is? This is my game theory. That this is Miracle. What he did was he had a child, but he didn't want to raise the child. He was like, I have one son that's following in my lineage. I have a second son that's not following in my lineage, so we're not scamming people. So therefore, my third son will not scam people too. I'm going to give him away. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Helen Lennon. Wait. Okay, I was gonna... Lennon. I don't know what he does. He's a preacher. God, man, why do the coolest looking people always end up evil, dude? What a nice look with the shades, man. Miracle. Roottrees. Preacher. I'm presuming that this is the case, and so this ended up in Stuart Clementine. Whatever he does, I don't know what he does. Presumably this is Stuart, and then there's something else that he does. This is what I'm assuming, because then they didn't want to keep this child. They just gave the child away. Because this is too old for them to be him. And if she's a big proponent of adoption, then that would make sense. It's not really infidelity on the mother's part. He just didn't want his child anymore. Okay, and we know that he's a hypocritical person based on the way that he lives his life and the things that he says. So it's not to say that kids that are put up for adoption are the result of hypocritical parents. Not to say that. But more to say that he probably was seeing the seeds of discord being sown in his second son, Elias Miracle, when he decided to not join the church and scam people and said, "I'm gonna fix cars instead, Dad." And he was like, "I'm not dealing with this shit anymore," and he gave away his child. That's what I mean. And he's talking about all this idea of morality and stuff when he himself is doing something to further continue his own immorality while harking on people's morality and saying, like, you know, EC, he deserved to be estranged because he was gay. It's like, what is going on? That's what I mean. Foster children deserve to be adopted. Yeah. Sorry. How do you say it without sounding like a shitpost? She sent me full of proof that she is who she says she is. I've attached it to this email. Sam Madsen is her signature in the email is 6 pieces. Unwrapping America's Weirdest Family is out now. Please consider saving a tree and not printing this email. Sorry. 6 pieces at prodigy.us. Yo. Okay, we have a web page, but my email is genealogy genie. Kind of cool, actually. Oh, I don't have a website, really? This is important. You were given some partial staff records that cross-referenced by staff by Sam Madsen. These records are based on old tax mailing information and only detail the employee that worked directly for Roottrees or in their corporate office. This is actually really important. This is so important because this actually solves a lot of things. This solves the secretary issues. This solves the people working under Guy Hudson. This might even solve the Susie issue. The many laborers on their farms and in their factories are not listed. You're not sure how helpful it would be except for cross-referencing Guy's secretaries and visits overseas. Despite such people, just because they're listing in these books will be very time-consuming and a waste of your time. Well, what if I want to? You can't stop me. Zach Morden, leadership. Holy shit, that's a lot of people. Wait. Let me pour some coffee. I need to think about this. Pour some coffee. Okay, wait. We have a lot of names. Joanna Robertson. If you don't get it, you're just too young for this channel. Dorothy Mays, Beth Knox, Samantha Madsen, John Miller, Elizabeth Farrow, Thomas Green, Fred Gleason, Stuart Todd, Sam Harmon, Robert Logan, Michael Crane, Jack Keatons. Major expenses, none. This was when Zach Morden was there. He was cheap. But Zach Morden, this was before he handed it off. So here we should be able to see Joanna Robertson, 5 P's' mother. That's her birth name, is Joanna Robertson. Okay, because she took her husband's name. Her husband's name is Riley, but her Joanna Robertson. Okay, so she's a Robertson. It's Robertson. Oops. Because remember, that was Zach Morden's secretary first before it moved on to Guy. Makes sense. Edward Roottrees, Lord Carpenter. Honestly, I do kind of want to see how much I can search of this. But first off, okay, let's finish the angle. Oh, actually, let me write this down too. Finish off the angle of Miracle Tree. It seems Miracle Sr. is going on a new tour to the United States in late 1999. The previous flyer for the 3 generations of miracles has been replaced. Wow, really? Oh? No. Really? Be a part of history. The oldest living Roottrees reprises and retells his incredible true story. Miracle Roottrees grew up as one of the famous 5 pieces, living a life of luxury and wealth. But fortune was nothing compared to the powerful force of the Almighty. Doctors determined he was destined to die young, but fate had different plans. He has lived a long and fruitful life. Fruitful? Really? Huh? The only fruit that he has is that fruit that falls on the floor and makes it smell like shit. However, he's now in his 70s, and his age is beginning to make life on the road more difficult. So consider this your last chance to see him in a town near you before he settles back down in Pennsylvania. In the intimate evening, Miracle will reminisce about his famous history. He'll discuss his family's saints and sinners, providing a unique perspective of one of the most notable families in the United States today. Learn what originally drove him away from his fortune and into the arms of religion, and learn how his life has become more wealthy in spirit than it ever could have been from his inheritance. The site also lists the churches he will be appearing in, and mentions that tickets will be purchased at their local services. Noticeably absent are any mentions about Miracle's news appearances. How do I need to go to the church. Miracle Church? What the hell does Miracle do? Miracle Junior. Miracle Network. That's what it is. There we go. Oh, it's the same. So that's it. It's not much information. There must be some... 3? Miracle Roottrees. No. Oh. Wait, no. Yeah. I already have this. I need to find exactly this, the flyer. Well, I guess does a flyer really matter? I don't think so. Maybe me trying to find the flyer is pointless. It doesn't say anything. Yeah. Okay, so maybe Miracle's is done. Alright. Continue down this one, I guess. Now we have this. Eli C. Roottrees. We could search a bunch of these names, but in 1977, it was announced that Zach would be retiring and Guy would be taking over at the start of 1978. They held a retirement party in November before spending the final month working on the transition. During 1976 and 1977, the following changes took place. Guy Hudson replaced Ernest Madison as special management rights. Patrick Decker, Eli C. Roottrees, no longer employed by Roottrees. I forget why. Ernest is now in PM. Christine Farrow was hired. Joanna Robertson is no longer there, but Joanna Fellows is. Right, because she got married, so her name changed. Joanna Fellows and Beth Knox are no longer employed by Roottrees. Beth Knox? Beth Knox. My grandfather had a secretary named Beth. No, I don't think it was that. Beth Knox. The door knocks. Christine Farrow is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but a Christine Garland has been hired. Oh, her original name was Christine Farrow. That's why it didn't pop. I got it right. Her name just didn't pop because her last name is Farrow. That's a sick fucking name. Why would you leave that name? Like, I'm sorry. I would not leave that name. Christine Farrow? It's kind of cool, man. She's retired. How do I say old? Baby? I'm gonna say housewife. How many people do we have kind of locked in? So this isn't right. This isn't right yet. I don't know what her job is. What was her original name? You know what it is? I don't know what her real name was. Sonia Suarez. That's a problem. I don't know their real names. Suarez is her husband's name. That's why it doesn't pop. It's the erasure of women's identity. It's what it's what Carolyn it's what Carolyn was talking about. Yeah, here we go. John Miller is no longer employed by Damn, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Holy shit. Look at this. John Miller. We know who John Miller is, right? John Miller is the husband, partner, I don't know if it's husband, but definitely partner of EC, the son that they threw away because he was gay, right? That they abandoned. Then, as soon as Guy Hudson comes in, Zach didn't care. Guy Hudson says, "You're out of here, buddy." He's no longer employed by Roottrees. Gwyneth Madsen is then hired. Gwyneth Madsen being... And the timing of that almost implies that Gwyneth Madsen replaced John Miller. Oh, wait. Maybe he died. He could have died because of old age. He could have died because of old age by then. So Gwyneth Madsen came in and she's a farmer. She was the head of the farm at that moment in time after Sam stepped down. So this is actually after. This is after the farm was given over. Right. Beth Knox 50-year work anniversary bonus. Only $50,000. Are you kidding me? Not that that's not a lot, but $1,000 per year only? And you only get it after 50 years? If somebody worked for me for 50 years, right? And you don't give them like a portion of all profits since then, I feel like you're stealing from them. Because you don't know how much money that they could have made you, but they were a part of that. They were a part of how many millions that you've made. 50,000 is like nothing. Zach Morton retires here. What else jumps out at me? Also, let's just write down all the birth name references, just so I remember too. Avoid Pennsylvania. Christine Farrow. Yeah, here we go. Christine's original name. And then the last one was for Joanna. This one goes into 5 P's. Joanna's original name. Give me a sec. I will apologize for nothing. It's my wife. Let's see. So we have all this now. Joanna's original name is here. So what happens on the next page? This is actually a pretty cool way of doing this, that you can see the timeline of things, basically. 1978 to 1979. This is when Guy Hudson took over. Particularly volatile period in the company's staffing. Many travel expenses were listed, and Guy began trying to develop a new five-piece flavors. So this is when Guy replaced Zach. He was learning under Zach at that time. Edward Roottrees, Elizabeth Cravensworth, and Lloyd Carpenter are no longer employed by Roottrees. Edward Roottrees. What? Who the fuck is Edward Roottrees? Wait a minute, who's Edward Roottrees? Elias? Edward Clancy? There's an Edward Clancy. Maybe this guy? Maybe he retired by now, right? Oh no, Edward, sorry, this guy. So that guy, he left at this point. Elizabeth Cravensworth and Lloyd Carpenter. Raffertoons is now listed as office space, as office staff. Raffertoons being... I forget what Raffertoons was. It was a company, it was a music company. No, it was a music team. I'm pretty sure it was this guy. James. Wasn't his thing Raffertoons? The Raffertoons site, oh wait, yeah, James and Clark, yeah, the one that had a photo of Clark on it no longer exists. Instead, it redirects to a site for a telephone number called 1010-250, which frustratingly keeps popping up advertisements in new windows every few seconds. 1010-250. 1010-250 is apparently a phone number you can dial before making a long-distance call to receive a discount from telephone company. For the past few months, you've been inundated with ads for it and other services like it. This includes TV spots starring celebrities, radio commercials with parodies of popular songs, and banner ads for it on many different sites. Doesn't seem to be relevant to your search. The Raffatoons domain was likely purchased by a third party when the license expired. I do remember some variation of this happening, where you'd see this like toll-free number extension pop up, and the company would like route you or something. Like back then, you had to buy minutes on your phone for long distance. It was a really weird time. Nowadays, you just go on Skype and you're basically good to go. But yeah, sorry, not Skype. Sorry, I'm showing my age here on Discord now. But that's what the Raffatoons was. So this is when, this is when Cloyd kind of steps in. Albert Cross and Fred Cross are no longer employed by Roottree. Who are Albert Cross and Red Cross? Well, I know what the Red Cross is, but who's Fred? Red Cross. Wait, there's an easy way to search this. Every single one, I can just highlight and go search this. Christine Garland is no longer working for Roottrees, so this is when she stopped. When Christine left. Oh, Fortnite's done. Okay, you know what? Good. We'll finish these records next time. Listen, this game's amazing, and I really do enjoy finding all these different hits and pieces. But dear God, is there a lot, okay? We got a lot done, though. This was a productive day. The shower hint didn't really give much, okay? My shower revelation about the lisp didn't give me much at all. All it gave us was the best, and that didn't really mean too much. But it did, however, continuing from the 5 Ps did lead me all the way down here, so I think we did a pretty decent job. Give me a moment to set things up. I'm gonna switch right over to Fortnite. We'll do more of the types of stuff later.